What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to another installment of the call-in show. The call-in show we do here on Casually FC, the first Wednesday of every month. Happy New Year! Congratulations to everyone who made it here. 2025 is here. Time to start anew, start fresh for those of you who look at it that way. Maybe some of you already got a head start. Maybe some of you set up your resolutions now and are going to get started now. A new year, new you, all that fun stuff. Hey, whatever floats your boat. But here at Casually FC, the first call-in show of the year, the first stream of the year for Casually FC. So, happy 2025. Welcome 2025. Let's hopefully turn things around here at Chelsea and and keep growing here at Casually FC. But I'm accompanied by the panel of the Bridge Nation. We have Oliver and we have Scott to start things off. And if you are new here, if your resolution was I'm going to find more interesting and new YouTube channels for Chelsea, you've come to the right place. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna keep growing this year and hopefully hit that sweet 5K mark at some point. Be sure to smash the like button so you help out with that goal as well. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If you already are a subscriber, be sure to check out the memberships. We have 4 different tiers starting at 99p. And ladies and gents, I promise you, I have ideas for membership exclusive content coming up. We will see. And I do have a lot of upgrades coming up. We just had a little bit of a standstill with some of the upgrades that were supposed to happen on the channel, but they are coming, I promise you. But enough of the channel, enough of 2025. Let's speak about Chelsea. Ladies and gents, if you are living under a rock and you just came out, I'm here to inform you that Chelsea are currently sitting in 4th place. I believe it's 4th place.
Yes, it is,
4th
yeah.
place, with 3 winless games on the trot. Our next match is Saturday against a Crystal Palace side that an Eze ended up dunking on us, and we ended up getting a draw out of that match earlier in the season. So now we go to Selhurst Park, hopefully turn things around. I guess, Oliver, I'll start with you, brother. What is the feeling around the Oliver camp as far as where Chelsea are heading? Are you feeling pretty confident that Chelsea can turn things around against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park?
Well, it's difficult to say, to be honest, because on the most recent evidence, it's getting a bit worrying. But at the same time, we were at a point only 3 games ago where this run was seemingly inconceivable. No one would have thought this happened, and we have seen better, from both the players and Maresca in previous points in the season. So it's just about getting back to that. And in some cases, it is literally so simple. It's as simple as Maresca just finding it within himself to make earlier subs and whatnot. And I can go into more, but it's definitely, we could get back into it. We could definitely, pick back up form. I have confidence that we can do it, but I just don't know where this bad run has come. And granted, some of it is like injuries and overworking Enzo and Caicedo and whatnot, but we definitely have enough to beat Crystal Palace. So I'd like to hope that we can get back on the right track as soon as possible.
Yeah, I would like to hope so as well. Scotty, how are you feeling in terms of the team right now? We had a few days to let the emotions settle. Obviously, we're not happy with the last 3 results, but where's your head at right now?
That's pretty good. I feel all right, to be honest. Like the last 3 results, well, I'd say the last 2, like the Everton result doesn't surprise me. We haven't won there now in 8, won once in 8 away from home Everton. That's not the one that necessarily annoys me. It's more the other 2. And I'm still confident. I'm still happy. We're still top 4 at the moment, which I think is good, and we're still on course to be where we want to be. I think it's just a case. It's kind of like what Oliver said. I think it's just a case of Maresca. Some of the things he has to work out in terms of team selection. Certain guys should never touch the field again for us. I think that's where we stand. In fact, they should be out of the club like by now already. And then there's other guys that we need to look at and decide what's really gonna be their pathway going forward. There are incomings we need to get this January, but whether we do anything will remains to be seen. And yeah, on the players' perspective, I think it's just certain players stepping up. I think we've seen the best of some of these players this season. We've also seen kind of the worst of some of them, and that's not even me. Like, I'm not even talking about the guys that like shouldn't be playing. It's more some of these starters. So yeah, so we just need to get back to what we were doing beforehand, because it was good and it was working, and whatever's happened recently just hasn't been what we've been used to this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think the team did slow down quite a bit, at least in this month, in terms of like how, even Maresca to an extent, how Maresca went about aggressively making changes and aggressively taking on games, to now where it seems we're a little bit more on the safe way of playing, and maybe the intensity has dropped a bit, right? Ahmed, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's time? You think Maresca's going to turn things around? Do you think it's on the players? Like, what do you feel is causing this bit of a slump that we had in the last three matches?
Do you know what it is? Obviously, big up to everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's having a happy new year, first and foremost. I just think, for me, clearly we are going for a little bit of a rut, shall we say, in the last three games. Obviously,
True.
I know with Everton, part of the issue is always going to be the fact that we know that's Goodison. It's going to be a very hard place for us from a statistical standpoint, but it is what it is. I think the last two games, I think, it's a bit of a mixture, I would argue, of Maresca, bad in-game management, and like just tactically getting outclassed, in my personal, particularly against Fulham. I would say in Ipswich it was less so that he got tactically outclassed, in my personal opinion. It was just tactically the way he set up is what failed him in that one more than anything else. But and then I think there's an issue of like then the players themselves, the way they are handling themselves, the performances they're giving are pretty much below par. Particularly in the last three games, I would argue that they've been quite poor, in terms of how they've come in, how the attitude they've come into some of these games, the way they even feel like at times. Sometimes, if the way they come into games, you would feel like we're up 3-0 already. Sometimes the way we actually come into games. So I think it's about the mentality. Some of our starters, as I think Scott said before, making sure they bring their A games, bro. It's great getting GNA. Listen, GNA obviously on some level for some of our players is going to be the end all be all in terms of what they can give us. Also, the other thing, which is that,
Microphone.
oh, sorry, my apologies. Which is that,
That's that Blue Yeti, baby.
That's the Blue Yeti, baby. But you know what it is. Like, the other thing I would say is also about, listen, you need to also, the GNA has to come with the performances. You know what I mean? We needed to be giving you 10 out of 10 performance, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I want to be seeing you do your job. That's all I ask for from the players, bro. And all I ask for from Maresca, please make the right tactics. Please make sure to improve on your in-game management. And there's certain players that you and I know do not fit in certain positions. Can we just stop making that happen and just be a bit more astute, please? That's all I ask. That's all I'm asking for. But again, we go to Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park. I think our record is not too bad. I think Scott can help me out with that one, but I'm pretty sure Scott.
I don't know what it's like at Palace.
Yeah, but I would have seen. But like,
I
don't think it's bad, terrible. Barring at the Lukaku 7-touch session.
No, to be fair, even that game, I'd say even that game we won.
I think we won that game.
On Palace, we've won like what 13 or maybe a bit less in a row.
I forgot about the
I think someone earlier said that when it comes to Palace, like, it's actually been good. I think Tuchel beat him twice. Lampard, we beat him once. I'm trying to think like other games against them. I can't remember outside of that.
Oh yeah, even Potter beat them at Selhurst Park with
we beat him under Potter. Did we beat him under Potter as well?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. That was one of his wins. I remember. Yes, it was one of his wins. If I'm not mistaken. So no, but like in general, you go to a place where usually your record's good, but at the same time they're coming into form. They're going to be playing actually very similarly to a team we faced in Ipswich. So at least the team has a do-over, in my personal opinion, to actually go to a team that plays like Ipswich and see if you can, sorry, I'm burping too much now. If you can fix your mistakes, that's what I would say. But
yeah, I feel like you mentioned earlier in your dialogue there that you feel like McKenna didn't necessarily outclass Maresca, but it was more Maresca's setup. I don't know. I'm not going to say outclassed. 'Cause I feel like when you're saying outclassed, that means like you were clearly outcoached, right? Like, you know, to an extent, I feel like, you know, Marco Silva had a moment
That
where
was
he
the
outclassed.
outclassing.
Yeah,
That was
he
an outclassing,
outclassed Maresca. But in terms of like the Ipswich match, we had chances, right? We did have chances.
That's what I'm saying.
But what I will say in terms of like the setup, I feel like McKenna has the advantage in the sense that he's competed with Maresca last season already. He knows how Maresca likes to play. He knows how Maresca likes to set up. So in a sense, I'm not, and again, this isn't me making an excuse. All I'm saying is that it seems that maybe that could have played a factor into how McKenna was able to set up against us, knew that the Sassi's too slow, keep you know, banging on that door and see what happens, see what opportunity comes from it. You know, we went over the goals, and both goals came from the right side, or that the Sassi side, right? So that side in general was a very exposed side in terms of how Maresca set up. I know a lot of people have been saying try Achimpong, and as the days go by, I'm opening up more and more to the idea, simply because, you know, and maybe you guys agree, maybe you guys are of a different mindset. I'm of the mindset of I still hesitate to put young players like that in a situation like that. And by situation, I just mean a Premier League match, an 18-year-old kid. But you go around the league and you see there are some players around that age that are doing just fine. You know, we look at Kobe Mainu last season. There's other examples of it too. I think at one point Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, those were players that also were instilled trust to do things like that. I mean, I think it is worth trying Achimpong in that position until we can get. Until
you know
we
what
can
is the?
get-
You know
Go
what is
ahead,
the
go ahead.
Marshall? I don't think. Listen, starting a Chempong is all good. I don't mind if you want to start a Chempong, but I think the guy that you have there in Mano Gusto, do you know the way the Sarsi was playing, Gusto could have done that job for you. All he had to do.
But here's the thing with Gusto that confuses me personally. And by the way, ladies and gents, I know this is a call-in show, but if this is your first time here, we usually start the call-ins around 15-minute mark or 20-minute mark just to get the discussion going and the conversation juice is flowing. Pause. But I feel like if Malo Gusto, it was a damn if you do, damn if you don't, but really, really damn if you don't do this, which the don't do this is Achimpong, right? But I think either or. If we saw Malo Gusto there, we would have been like, fuck. The Sassi, same reaction. Both have not been good this season. I mean, do you guys feel that? Let me ask you this. Do you guys feel that if it was Malo Gusto, you would have been a lot more like, oh, this is fine, we're good. I get it.
No.
Yeah, so it's like the Sassi or Malo Gusto, both would have been shit
But
options.
this is the thing with the Achimpong thing, and where I disagree with you is like you mentioned about a young player. This guy's already played in the Prem last season. It's one of the only good things that Pochettino did was give this guy minutes, seemingly against Tottenham.
Yeah.
And then, like, you say, oh, it's cruel to throw our entire team is young players, bro. My entire team basically is young players. It's like it's just going to be another one.
That'll be like saying to Brighton, don't start over the youngsters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't start another South American. But we've got like 6 of them already, bro.
Exactly.
But that's the thing, and it's like at the end of the day, the problem is right with our right back situation. We have now 4 right back. Well, in the right back, right centre back situation, we have 4 guys there who can play. We have more, but in terms of like the kind of hierarchy of actual guys, we've got 4 guys there. The Sassy sucks. Like he's just a non-starter. He's one of the guys I was talking about earlier when I said he should never play for us again. Should never put on a Chelsea shirt again in a competitive match. You've got Gusto, who sucked this season. Good player, I like him, but he's young and he sucked this season, and he hasn't worked in any way. He hasn't worked inverting. I thought he would work as a right centre back, and then Everton, he played like shit as a right centre back, where he wasn't inverting, wasn't having to do all that, and he was just terrible. Oh, was it Everton or Fulham? Fulham. Terrible.
Fulham.
Um, so that's two of them. Reese is injured. The only one left is Acheampong. So it's like, at some point you have to trust him, especially against an Ipswich. I know we lost, but it's like they're like the third worst team in the league based on standings. They're effectively a championship squad. Like, they haven't got too much. They've improved a bit, but they've still got remnants of a championship squad. So it's like, so they've still got, like, that would have been a perfect game for him to come in. And it just, like, because I look at it and go, when else are you going to play him? If you're not playing him against Ipswich, do I trust you to play him against Southampton? Probably not. Do I trust you to play him against Wolves? Absolutely not. Do I trust you to play him against Palace? No. So you start getting to the point of, like, well, he's never going to play then, so what was the point of him signing that contract? Or, like, what did you say to him, basically? Because then the other options you would have if you weren't going to play him is you've got Fofana injured, Caicedo, we got no one else in the midfield. Tosin, we've seen there once, and again, it's just centre-back options because you've got no other centre-back then because Badia Shield's injured. And that's about it. I'm not putting Cucurella there because there's no point taking your best left-back and putting him right back. Like, yeah, it's a bit of an unfortunate situation with our whole right-back situation because everyone we played there has either been ass or injured. Outside of the guys that aren't right-backs. Like, our best performing right-backs, quote-unquote, this season have been Caicedo and then Fofana.
You know what the issue is? Like, I think, you know, obviously Gusto's had a bad season this season. I think we can all admit that. I think there's been obviously a number of reasons as to why that's taken place. So as such, you know, you won't hear me be, you know, doing any of that nonsense. But I think Acheampong, at least we've seen, I think, who was it that he faced recently? That was in the minus 11 degrees. It was Noah, right? If I'm not mistaken, guys. Right?
In the conference,
Astana, sorry. It was Astana, sorry. When he played against Astana and Shamrock, he actually looks comfortable, knows how to play the position quite well. So at least he knows your position. He knows how to implement your tactics at the very least, right? Why not give him a go? You know what I mean? You know, Livramento was playing when he was 19, 20 at Southampton, for example. That's a guy, obviously, we let go, but like, he was playing football at that age. So in this day and age where we are playing younger footballers, it is good to have an opportunity. Gusto was 19 when he was playing for us, by the way, last season. So it shouldn't be an issue for Acheampong to be playing, in my personal opinion.
You look at Livramento as well when he left Chelsea, straight into Southampton's first team.
Exactly. Even I know Marshall may not rate this guy, but he's at Newcastle now in the other fullback. He's Paul. You know, yeah, he may not necessarily start straight away, but he was getting games, and now he's a regular starter. And he's also
been the same with a few guys. It's like it was the same with Tomori when he went to Milan. He wasn't getting game time here, wasn't fancied. Went to Milan and went straight into their first team.
Exactly.
Same with like Gehi. People may rate him or not. Like, I'm not his biggest fan, but he went to he was starting for Swansea, wasn't getting any game time here. Went to Palace and became their starter and became their captain. So it's like, even as someone who doesn't rate Cobham that highly, it's like he can't be worse. That's my ultimate thing. It's like, A, he can't be worse, and B, at least if he is playing, say he has a performance like Disasi has, he'll learn from that because he's 18 and he'll learn stuff. Disasi at 27 is not learning anything. His learning when it comes to football is basically done at this point. He'll have some obviously to go, but he's starting to hit the crest.
I think
so he's not learning anything from this. Like he's done this multiple times. He's not learning anything. At least actually will learn something.
There's 2 points I want to make. The first one being that I do worry about gauging a player's performance or gauging his capabilities or what he's able of doing off of the Conference League. Because, again, I go back to the Carabao Cup match, right? Where we saw a staunch difference between a Newcastle quality side versus a Conference League side, right? And not to say, and I'm not trying to diss on Acheampong, like, I think it's nice that we see him play. I think it's nice that we see that he's comfortable in that role of inverting and doing what is asked of Maresca. However, how does that translate when the league is more intense? That's the part where it worries me. And listen, let's try it. I think if anything, if you're not gonna do Malagusto, I really don't think you should be doing. First of all, I don't want to rush Lavia either. If he's not ready, then there's no reason to rush him. Just keep it Enzo and Caicedo. And when Lavia is ready, then we can shift maybe Caicedo into that right back position. But unless we don't need, let's not rush it, right? I'd rather Lavia come fully fit. I think a game against Crystal Palace isn't a bad shout to try to put Achimpong into that game and see what he's capable of doing and how he handles it. Because to be frank, Crystal Palace early in the season didn't pose much of an attacking threat against us. It just happened to be the one shot that Eze took, I think his only goal this season. And
I scored another one recently.
Okay, so now his second goal. But that was his first goal of the season.
Yeah.
And ended up being a brilliant goal. You know, it was like one of those, like, damn, like we just got really unlucky on that day. However, I think this match, you can get away with trying it. And I think we should have enough attacking prowess to get a result. I do think we can turn this around, and Crystal Palace can be the catalyst to continue that. My second point, though, was, for me, when it comes to Disasi, I don't think he's a Chelsea caliber player. I full-heartedly believe that. I don't think he's a Chelsea caliber player. However, and this is something that I've done in the past with multiple players, I try to be fair with everyone. Like, for example, Cole Palmer, when he had the season that he had last season, obviously everyone's putting him on a pedestal. Everyone thinks he's great, he's perfect, he can do no wrong. And when there's games where he's playing like crap, I'm the type of person that calls it out, and I don't sugarcoat it just because he's Cole Palmer and just because he had a brilliant game or a brilliant season last season. I would have done the same thing with Drogba. I would have done the same thing with Lampard. Anyone. If they have a bad game, you call it out, even though they're good players. We understand they're good players, but they're allowed to have bad games. When it comes to Disasi, it's the opposite, right? Like with him, we've all witnessed Disasi have good games. Like the City matches, I should say, not just the one. For some reason, against City, the guy turns up. And for me, it's one of those, well, you're capable of doing it against City. What is stopping you from doing this more consistently? Because if you can have that type of performance across the season more consistently, then, bro, you're a pretty good center back. And that's the other thing, too. Center back, right? Like, at this point, too, you got to look at Maresca and be like, bro, stop playing him in wide areas. He's not that defender. Go ahead.
But, I think, before I come back to the City comment, and you talked about starting Disasi in wide areas, right?
Yeah.
My question becomes, I know, listen, this is not me taking a dig at Maresca, but Maresca himself has stated, I've watched the tapes on all these players. I know what they can do, right? So you should realize when this guy was playing out wide, what he was giving you. You know what I mean? Like, for example, the message that I fucking give, remember Bournemouth, boys, when he was right back in that game.
It's not even that. Literally, he watched him with his own eyes score the most comical own goal I've ever seen in my entire life.
I actually said that. I think I said that to you in the last stream, but Marsh, remember? I said the goal that got scored was almost the same one that happened against Leicester. So it's just like, you've seen, the trend, you've seen it all. So it's just like, why are we not, it just comes back to you again. You've got another guy there. Use that option, bro. You know what I mean? You have to, it also comes back to, something that I think all three of us have said for a while now. You've got to trust your depth. And if you do not trust your depth, you have to kind of make it clear also to the board, I don't trust this depth. I don't trust XYZ player. Can you please help me out here? You know what I mean? That's what I would also say to you. I'm pretty sure all of us here would say that too, right?
Yeah, I think that's very reasonable considering, like, because here's the thing, like, Maresca came into this team and his job is to coach the players.
Exactly.
And to an extent, you can do that. But there are some players that, bro,
it's too late.
I can't coach this. Yeah, I can't coach this guy.
It's just too late. It's too late. Sometimes.
And I know Maresca doesn't rate Disasi like that. Maresca does not rate Disasi like that. I think early onset, too, there was quotes saying, like, Disasi is not a type of player that I would use, but I'm going to do my best.
But the problem is, Marshall,
trying your best.
I don't know if you saw the report today. Like, Bobby Benson, I would say, is very reliable. guy. when it
Call in
comes
is
to
for
Chelsea.
anyone who wants to call in, by the way. The link is in the
Yeah.
description. The link is also in the chat and pinned to the chat as well. So anyone can call in.
What confuses me is obviously Bobby Vincent. He's a very reliable guy when it comes to Chelsea. I'd say he doesn't really get stuff wrong. He gets and he's saying that the club is not even looking to actually sell him because they see him as basically a cover for multiple positions. And if that's the case, then it then begs the question: is this? I know I don't like to use this because because this is something that a lot of people like to use against the club, which is that a Maresca decision? Or is that a club decision? Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to use.
I think that's a club decision because, like,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to use that sort of wording because then it becomes like a thing of like it becomes like we start getting into areas where it becomes a bit more problematic, right? So that's the thing that I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to at least come.
Yeah,
into.
Ahmed, I'll be real when it comes to like the whole sporting directors thing. I've been giving him side for a little while, like when it comes especially recently when it comes to like the squad makeup. Like I thought they did really well in the summer. I thought that was a great window. I can't complain. But in terms of like squad makeup, some of the targets in certain areas, and a few other things, like I keep talking about loans every fucking window. Like I've been giving a mad side eye with all the stuff that's happening, the stuff that came out about Felix, the stuff that like the Disassi thing, the whole loan situation still. Like, bro, I've got massive spotlight. I've got massive question marks about them still. Massive question marks because they do a lot of good things. Like their talent ID, for example, for the most part, like especially for young players, is damn near perfect. But there are certain things that they are incapable of doing. Like incapable of doing. Loans being one of them. That's a conversation I want to have on this show at some point. Like there are some things they're incapable of doing. And the whole Disassi thing is just nonsense because, like, we've got he doesn't need to cover anyone. He's 5th choice centre back. He's 4th or 3rd choice right back, but Achampong can step into that 3rd choice right back position anyway.
He didn't even play left-sided centre back. I don't remember him playing.
He played left-sided centre back. He played left-sided centre back once this season, I think but in a Conference League game, and he looked just meh. But
that's the Conference League, innit? You know what I mean? We can't be, you know what I mean, Scott?
Yeah.
Like realistically, the places he covers are RCB and RB basically. That's where he realistically covers. And I'm just saying, we've got guys that can do better jobs there. There's no he's an excess essentially, if that makes sense. He's an so,
and he's got a position in the squad where it's like if worse comes to worse, right? Like. Again, I'm not a massive advocate for the academy, but like worst comes to worst, you need another centre back, bro. Go and put Murray Campbell in.
Even Gilchrist, Gilchrist can do a job.
If we're that bad, down bad, we need to don't put Murray Campbell in. Go and get someone else from the academy in it.
I have to give a troll. I have to give Scott a little troll on that Gilchrist.
But even Gilchrist, right? He's actually
Gilchrist will do a job. That's what I'm saying.
But that's another one where it's like my main problem with Gilchrist. I just didn't rate him that like technically and just the stand. I
get that.
But it's like that's what I'm saying. If you need someone as a real low depth piece, I do this with Football Manager all the time. I need someone as a real low depth piece. Cool, I'm gonna go and sign someone on a 1-year deal who's kind of met, and I don't have to pay a lot of money. I know can come in and do a job for like a couple games during the season. That's all you need. You don't need someone who's 20. Cool. Like he's not doing anything. He stinks when he plays. Like, what's the point?
Let me ask you this though, because I think when it comes to playing ability, Disassi, we could do better than Disassi, clearly. But in terms of, because I'm going to be so real with everyone on here, and I don't think I need to be real with everyone on here. It's mostly people in the chat, mostly people on Twitter. Disassi ain't going anywhere this January.
Yeah,
Disassi's not going anywhere this January. Yeah, who else is the other problem? And Nkunku, I don't think is going anywhere this January either.
I don't know what it is with Nkunku, but I know we'll get to him. But just quickly on Disassi, the thing about Disassi, and I think a lot of us as fans forget, Disassi was never signed to be a starter at this club. Like I think that's something that I think a lot of us seem to have forgotten. Now, this is not a
real quick, Alan, before you continue that, because I wanted to finish my point, right?
All right, let you finish.
I think I think another thing about the Sassi that, and again, we're not in the training ground, we're not in the locker room, but in terms of leadership qualities, the Sassi is one of the leaders in the locker room.
Oh Lord.
Mhm.
I mean,
But where was
am
that
I
against
lying?
Ipswich?
Wait. The Sassi
Where's the
leadership,
leadership
bro.
on the
I
pass back?
ain't seen that.
No,
on
wait,
camera.
wait,
wait.
But where was that against
Against-
Ipswich? Where was that against Emerson?
But
He's
But-
part of like, you can see with all the Enzo stuff, he's part of the lead. He's a part of the leadership group, like behind the scenes. Like
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
it's like
Maybe, yeah.
it's like him, Caicedo,
Yes.
Reese. I think is a part of that. I think Enzo, outside of the whole racism thing, is a part
Yeah.
of that. Like he is part of the leadership group, which kind of makes sense because
Mhm.
he's literally one of only like 2 people in the whole squad prior to this season who had actually been a
Tosin.
captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and
Tosin's
Tosin.
never been a
Like,
captain.
think about it, guys. Like, because people want to, Oliver. Like, where was the leadership? You think he's just gonna tell Delap, like, as a leader, like, Delap, don't score, and he's gonna listen? Like, obviously, the performance and the skill is what he's lacking, not necessarily the leadership.
Oh, the
And
issue
Oh,
both goals
also-
were his fault.
Nah, he looked
But
leadership as well.
but also,
No.
but what I'm
I
trying
mean,
to get at,
I'm
though,
not
is that-
just Marshall. I'm not just digging out Disasi here. It was across the pitch. You know, Enzo
Yeah,
wasn't
no, I get
leading
it.
correctly. You know, everyone was losing their heads. Colwell was
But-
losing his head. You know what I mean? It was everyone.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but in terms of like, just to prove the point, in terms of that leadership ability, like you don't think if the Sassi doesn't step up and try to mend the bridge when the whole Enzo thing goes off, you don't think? Do you really think that without the Sassi, that and the French players just go ahead and just say, oh, it's okay? I think the Sassi needed to be a leader in that locker room to step up and be like, okay, listen, it was a mistake Enzo made. We're Chelsea. Let's play as a club. Let's put this aside, and we'll forgive Enzo. I think the Sassi is one of the first players to go and be like,
Probably
No
not
way.
made a mistake. Anything.
But I just think I'm just gonna come back to this. At the end of the day, if Disasi be a leader, makes sense. He was the former captain of Monaco, obviously before he came to us, right? I think for me, part of the problem with Disasi in terms of leadership on the pitch, yeah, is that he's not playing his natural position. But usually, when he does play his natural position, he does a good job of actually pointing out where people need to go. That's one thing I will give him. Him and Tosin do that job of like pointing stuff, but the problem is they can't do their own job correctly before they start doing it.
Exactly.
that's so unfortunate.
That's what it is.
In the right direction.
Wrong bump. That's the issue
Yeah.
that they've got. But like going back to it quickly to the
Yeah.
point I was making about this Arce was always meant to be a depth signing for us. Remember, I
Yeah.
think you reminded me of this. I think me and you were debating this actually, Marshall, like back in the summer when we bought this Arce, about how this Arce was brought as a signing because I think we lost Fofana at the time, right? We lost someone and we were like,
It's kind of an emergency signing,
yeah,
but
and essentially,
Fofana and Chalobah.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the club themselves, prior to that, were looking for another centre back in general to cut
Yeah.
because of that, and so they brought him in as depth. Yes, I know people are like, we brought him for 45 million. It's 45 million euros. 40 million at this club is like a standard fee here. Like that's what we like to aim.
No, that's
to
no.
buy
I'll be
for.
real.
No, that's
40 million.
yeah, no.
40 million for
That's a bit
Disasi
pricey.
is disgrace, by the way.
it's a bit
Yeah,
pricey.
it's a big price. Fair enough. You know, maybe you know.
Yeah, we're not letting that one slide. Nope.
We took a bit of an L on that one. I ain't gonna
We took it
lie.
out. We took it out. You know what?
Yeah.
I'll
Best,
make
you know
League
what?
One
Best.
tax.
You know, when league, you know what I mean? Listen, I didn't hype him up, by the way. Yeah? I wasn't one of them ones saying.
No,
he's
I don't think
gonna-
any of us
selling
hyped him up.
academy
You know what I mean?
players that haven't even played for us for that price, man.
But
Yeah.
you know,
Disasi,
alas,
no.
at the end of I think because I see Disasi as that.
Just to give
maybe-
Ahmed, sorry to interrupt, by the way, just to give you an example of how much of a disgrace that was. Dean Hewson, who's playing at Bournemouth and is rumored to be wanted by a lot of guys, they bought him for 15 million
I know.
euros.
I knew it was good, bro. You know when he went to Bournemouth, I was like, that guy's gonna give them a lot of money, man.
How much did they buy Zabani for? Let me check it.
They probably brought Zabani, I think, in the 20s, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah, that's the
That's
word.
half what we
Okay.
pay. Fantastic.
And so, but like essentially, like at the end of the day, the reason why I'm not so harsh on Disasi is because, yeah, I see Disasi for what he was brought for, and
Mhm.
yes,
That's
I can
fair.
criticize performance on the pitch, but then it's like, okay, we keep it pushing. The problem for me is, yeah, I saw reports today. Obviously, we can discuss a little bit that Chelsea have either been offered Tomori or they like Tomori, essentially, right?
I'd
And
take more.
And
take him back.
Nation is here to tell
Bro, they
you.
spent 24 mil with Marty. I feel sick, bro. Oh,
Yes, I told you, bro. They're going to spend 40 million, bro, on the centre backs this season, bro. And they're about to make over 100 million.
they spent less than we spent on Disassi on 2 centre backs that we now both want. What the fuck? What the
Bro,
fuck?
Yeah.
man. Listen, man. Listen, big up Chelsea, man. Scouting department, man.
Scouting
Need
doesn't
better.
always bang, man. We got to get some flops in there.
Yeah.
I think those are like, to be fair.
No,
Why did Sheila-
Hodgson though, Marshall. When I heard he was available, I was surprised the club did not go for that guy, bro. Because they could have gotten that 50 million euros out of nowhere, bro. And I know they still trust Badiashile, which I don't think it's not. He's actually had a mixed season. I don't think he's been bad.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, but like the point I was just gonna make quickly on Tomori, if you guys will allow me to, is that post injury, he's been a shadow of himself. And that is the big worry, in my personal opinion. I would worry, yes, we lose this RC, plus.
Yeah.
But the negative becomes Tomori's not the guy that I think a lot of people remember before the injury, not the one that we see now. And that is the worry I would have of bringing in a guy like Tomori, in my honest opinion. That's the issue that I would have. And I would much rather bring in a better player like Hodgson or Zabani, because I actually think those two right now, in terms of quality, bring you much more than Tomori does in his current self.
I have my opinions of Tomori, but before I give that opinion, by the way, ladies and gents, the link to call in and have your say on the show is pinned to the top comment. It is in the description if you refresh the page, and I'll put it in the chat as well. Dark, you called in, obviously. I want you to have your say. What are we saying, bro? How are we feeling? Then obviously, whatever you think of Tomori.
It was to be expected, to be honest. Like, I kind of
At some
had the
point
feeling
you're gonna lose, or some point
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
dip.
Yeah,
Right.
no, for sure.
That's fair. You
But
can only ride on cloud 9 for so long.
the hot form only lasts for so long.
Yeah.
But I don't really have much else to say, honestly. I kind of not gonna say I predicted we were gonna have a little drop off, but it was to be expected for me. So
Yeah, I mean, listen, like we've all of us on the panel have seen teams that have won titles, right? And there's those teams that you're just like, holy crap, no one can beat them. And I never felt like that was Chelsea. Like, I always felt Chelsea were like, if we get unlucky in one of these games, like someone's just gonna run in behind up Fofana or put Kobo on the spliff, and that's it. Like we're done. We lose. But I never had that feeling with Chelsea that we were like unbeatable.
yeah, because our best teams have always had a good defense.
Yeah, that's fair. But, we were just talking about Disassi. Obviously, Disassi's not good enough. He's not going to go anywhere in January. That one is for certain. And to an extent, we'll see if he goes in the summer. I feel like there is a part of the ownership or not even the ownership, but even Maresca that maybe value the leadership qualities that he carries and what he brings to the locker room, which I don't think that's usually a good enough reason to keep a player. But, hey, who knows? Tomori.
But on that leadership point though, I wasn't seeing it. You on the last game, you could see half the players were losing their heads towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's not a good look. You're losing to a lower quality opposition side, and then
We did look
when
really
you can't get
frustrated
your
at the
way.
Yeah.
Throwing your toys out the perimeter. Where's the leadership at? Like you were
Who was the one
saying,
player that was
Cesc
really
on the
really
pitch.
losing his head? Wasn't it Neto or someone? It was the one player that was on the ground and he was trying to get the ball and just like.
Oh
was
yeah,
Gusto,
who
wasn't
was
it?
it?
It was your boy, man. It was your boy Enzo, man.
Yeah,
No, that
Enzo,
wasn't
yeah.
Enzo.
No, but
Enzo
Enzo was crying into Hutchinson the whole.
bro. He was fighting.
Yes.
Enzo was willing to fight at one point.
No,
with
it was
that, bro.
Malagusto. Malagusto was trying to get the
Oh,
ball
yeah, it was
back,
Gusto,
and
yeah.
the guy was on the ground and he was just like, yeah, he almost got in a fucking fight, bro. Caicedo had to break it up, and who else broke it up? I think Tosin broke it up. But like, yeah, man,
Yeah,
like,
but-
the leadership wasn't there. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh dear.
But what do you? Oh wait, I just.
The final
Simply's
boss
here.
is here, chat.
But
Curry P.
What do you think on Tomori, bro? What do you think on Tomori, Dark? Is he the answer if he's
Tomori?
speculated to come back?
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been watching Serie A, so I don't really have too much of an opinion on him. But another ex-Chelsea player. What about the other center back, Mark Gurry?
Mark Gay.
Gay?
I
He's
just
expensive, no?
Put the price
I
in the
don't know,
bag.
man.
Put the price in the bag, please.
Wait, don't we have a buyback clause on this current contract?
No,
Too
we
late.
don't.
Too late. That
I
was
think we have a
Too
sell-on
late.
clause.
That was
not
years
buyback.
ago.
Oh, it was a sell-on.
No, we have. I
sell-on
think we have
clause.
right of first refusal.
Yes.
Or maybe that too, yeah.
That was
Oh,
2
okay,
years ago,
fair
I
enough.
think.
But
So
listen,
we
put
say
the price in the bag.
if the team puts a bid in for him, we get to match it.
But that's the thing. Like, okay, there's a third one too when you think about it, because I'm hearing people cry all about it. Chalobah.
No, fuck off.
He's better than our centre backs. Like,
I feel like I have an issue with all of the options we just said. For me, I do like Tomori. I'll be honest, I do like Tomori. I never really wanted him to leave Chelsea.
I
The
agree
Frank
with that.
Lampard season where he didn't play at all, I don't understand why he never played Lampard at all. Was that ever revealed?
no,
Lampard,
because it was weird because he did play him. Like he played
Yeah,
it like
the first
consistent.
season
Like,
he played him all
was
the time.
involved a lot. He had one bad performance against that one team, and then that was it. And he played like
So weird.
5 minutes in the cup against Bournemouth or something. I can't remember what game it was, but he came on in the cup for 5 minutes,
Mhm.
and that's like all we ever saw of him. It was after one game where he had a bad game, and he just completely flipped on him.
I'd just speculate that it's like squad dynamics. You know, you've got multiple senior centre backs, Rudiger, Christensen, Zuma, and you want to keep them happy, I guess.
What worries me about Tomori is that I don't feel like he solves any of the issues we have. And one of the
He
biggest
does.
issues we
He can do
have.
that.
Well,
The recovery piece. Did you still have it?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
covers
yeah,
wide
right.
spaces.
And he can play on both
Okay.
sides. He's both.
Fofana back, Fofana takeover.
one
Mine
of the
is-
biggest glaring issues that we have in our defense is height. And I don't like. I know he can jump pretty high. I don't know if that's going to be enough.
The thing is, Marshall, though, like if you look at the height argument, I feel like we've not had that many goals conceded via headers.
No, that's
Yeah, we
true.
haven't.
That's true.
Right, and
The
Sanchez
vast
does come out.
You're looking on the offensive end, I think.
Yeah, like that's
I
the
mean
thing,
both.
Marshall would probably say. But like, I think the problem with Tomori is that if you had said to me Tomori before the last injury he had, I would have been with you 100%. It's just that post injury, he's really not looked the same, bro. That's and that would for me would worry me because you're not buying the guy that was there before. You're buying the guy that's there now, which is not the same guy. Does that make sense, Marshall?
Yeah. No, I get that. The Chalobah option, like again, Chalobah's another one too that I didn't mind having in the team. I just don't think he's good enough for Chelsea either. Like, I'm not going to be disillusioned by the last 10 games of the season where he finally showed up and he played and we were all in good form and things were going great and he looked decent. I'm remembering the bigger picture, which is Chalobah when he made his debut with Thomas Tuchel's second season. And he did have some good games, but he also had some stinkers. And
No, he was great that season. He made his debut.
Yeah, that was a great season for him.
That was the season where he got nominated for Player of the Month like twice.
Yeah,
He
really
had
was the
good
very
stints, but the other thing about that season in particular that I particularly noticed about Chalobah, or that I remember about Chalobah, I'm sure you guys remember too, is that we played in this back three system with the Thiago Silva that was covering for his mistakes whenever he would make them. And although we were lucky enough that a lot of opponents didn't capitalize on Chalobah's mistakes, I never really forgot that Chalobah would make a mistake here and there. And mind you, it is a tough for him. It is a tough league. You are gonna have mistakes in there, but there was just too much for me to be confident that like, okay, this Chalobah's the truth. He's the answer.
You sure?
Gay, yeah, I'm sure. I just don't think Chalobah's the guy. I genuinely don't. I think he's better than the Sassi, especially if you're asking for a center back to play in that right back position. We've seen Chalobah do it and do a job, but I just don't think.
I think
Can I
he's
ask this
better
question?
than the
I want to ask this question to everyone. Why
Talking about all our center
I'm a
backs.
bit confused as to why the club don't rate Chalobah this much. Like, I
Pure
would
profit.
think
It has to be pure profit.
the thing is, it can't be pure profit anymore because like
Why?
they've made their money now. They've got like I just don't see why they don't rate him that much. Because for me, I actually listen. obviously I know Mitoma ran in ragged at one point in time when he was defending him out wide. I remember that game really well, but like he's not. But I don't think he's that bad. I think in terms of squad building, you look at him as a squad option. Definitely one of the best you could have.
And he doesn't mind being on the bench
I think
either.
what makes it worse. I think what makes
that's
this whole thing worse as well, because when it comes to centre backs, especially the guys we got rid of in terms of like you look at Tamori, Gay, and Jabba, what makes it worse is you look at all three of those guys and you look at who else we have in the squad at centre back. All three of those guys are better than Disasi and Badiashile. All three of those guys are better than Tosin. I'd argue that all three of those guys are at least on par with Fofana and Colwell, maybe even better. Like, if we were to go and sign, for me, if we sign Chalobah and definitely Tamori, he's the only one I'm like unsure about, but if we sign Chalobah and Tamori, they're better than all our centre backs. Yeah. For me, they're better than all our starting centre backs right now.
Yeah. I don't know.
I would disagree with Lewis Hall, by the
because,
way. Yeah.
I just think Colwell's a pretty decent centre back. I don't know if he's better, if Chalobah's better than Colwell.
Yeah, but he needs to be center. He needs to be center back. Like, once again, because of this whole nonsense, because Gusto's ass, right? And Towson, we've had one good game, so then Colwell have to be shifted from being center back in the back three to once again the left center back, where he sucks ass. At, he's not as good at covering wide spaces, which we knew about. So you're just leaving him out to dry again, and it's all because the balance is off. Because we got a Gusto who's a dumbass at right center back and a dumbass at right back. Then Tosin had one game that was really good. So then we shifted the entire fucking team for it.
Does anyone here like watch enough of Mark Gay to like have like a sound opinion on whether he's decent enough?
He's average.
Because I know in the Euros,
he's
had a good he had a really good Euros campaign. I know that, but outside of that, like, I'm looking at Crystal Palace at the bottom half of the table, and that's not screaming to me like, oh, Gay is leading that line.
That's where Chalobah's at too, though.
I'll be honest, Chalobah's the same level as Gay, and they're on the same team, and one of them is still in our books.
I feel like both of them. I feel like Gahi in particular. I feel like he's just average, bro. Like there's clear, and I feel like he's got like quite a few defensive frailties where I don't know if I can have him as a starter, right? But yes, is he better than Badiashile? Yes, but like I feel like he's just like a solid mid-table centre back. But the thing is, we're looking for probably CBs that have leadership, right? I don't think he necessarily portrays that, right? That's why, by the way, one of the reasons why I was advocating so much for like when I heard Joachim Anderson was available or something like that. Anderson provides that, right? He provides that for you, the leadership and the defensive qualities to be able to hold that.
He's doing all right at Fulham, I ain't gonna lie.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know obviously he's a bit more of an older player, but that's something that could have been provided for us as well.
I mean, another thing to take into to thought is Aaron Elsomino. We'll probably talk about this on the Casually Chelsea show on Sunday. But Aaron Elsomino,
he can't even get into the UK, but he can't even play for us. He's got.
Wait. So he can't play. He can't play for us. Was he going back on loan or something?
Yeah, well, basically in the UK we have like a point system.
No. Is it the same Santos thing, basically?
Oh,
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because last I left off is he's on. We're calling up out of his loan at Chelsea.
So, like for Santos, he had to have certain appearances for the under-21 team for Brazil, and do well in the Brazilian tournaments to have enough points.
You basically your team has to be within a certain within rankings, the top whatever team, and then as long as it's part of the certain team, you have to have made a certain amount of appearances, club appearances or international appearances, and stuff like that, and have had to have contributed enough to something. Like, I can't remember all of it, but I remember like little bits and pieces, and it's like a point system basically.
Yeah, and the problem is he could qualify, but the guy's been fucking injury prone. Not injury prone, but injured. So
there is something as well you can give. It's like a special work permit thing for guys that don't qualify. But yeah, he's not worth giving that. You only get like 4 in a season, I think. Which we probably aren't using any. But
yeah,
he's
not
worth
it.
We're not using it.
He just uses it if you're not using any.
Someone in the chat actually made a great point, by the way, which is that, guys, barring like I would probably argue Disasi, all of our other centre backs are not great. You know, when it comes to corners, bro, and like being aerial threats. In terms of scoring, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, right, and that is also like kind of I know obviously we've got issue of like putting the ball into the box to this as well, which is
as I say, you got to beat the first man to score a header.
You know what I mean? But like, even when that does happen, right, like for quite a few, like our guys just do not attack the ball. Like, you know, I think a good example,
I agree.
like, a good example again is that all you need to do, look at like Arsenal, for example. Right? I know that they're great when it comes to corners, but like their players do attack the ball. They attack the space, but ours just do not for some reason.
Are they great, or do they have one good player on corners?
No, they're. I would say Saliba and Gabriel are both good.
Both good. Even like I would even argue some of the other guys. The other guys, they do a great job of creating space for them. Yeah, so which is also the issue that we have too. And like, you know, obviously you got this. What's the gentleman's name again? Quaver. Yes. I'm not seeing it, bro. I'm not feeling it. You know.
I've said this before. I don't think our issues when it comes to corners are. I don't think our issues are to do with the players in the box. I think our issues are the corner takers. Like, and have a consistently great set piece taker. Like, I'd say our best set piece taker currently is probably Enzo, and even he is hit or miss. Like Palmer is, like, especially this season, has been dreadful in terms of his delivery from corners.
He needs to practice.
I'm looking at the wing backs.
Neto on the corners, man. So.
Yeah, Neto maybe could take some corners, but I think he's been hit or miss as well. I'm trying, like, Sancho's not a corner specialist, like a set piece taker. Madueke isn't. I'm trying to think, like, normally sometimes you get it from fullback as well. Reece would be, but he's injured all the time. Gusto isn't. Guerrero isn't. Vega isn't. That's our fullbacks. Like, yeah, Caicedo isn't. Like, we just have no one outside of, like, Enzo sometimes, Palmer sometimes, and Neto sometimes. We got no set piece takers in the whole team, like, from corners especially.
But what I will say, like, I think Ahmed was being a little disingenuous when he said Bernardo Cueva not doing his job. Bro, when you look at how bad we were from corners last season versus this season, like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
like, you gotta give him props.
We were United.
We were literally Manchester United last season.
Trying to do a little troll. That ending was me definitely trolling.
You rubbed me the wrong way with that little
oh, sorry, I got Cueva.
Can we talk about this just a second? Because I've been seeing the PR again on Disasi, and it's fucking pissing me off.
What do you mean the PR on Disasi?
Disasi's got PR?
Yeah, no, the PR on Disasi. What do you mean? The fucking... Here we go. I'm reading right now the dumb shit from the sporting directors. Anyways, from Bobby Vincent. Chelsea are not actively looking to sell Axel Disasi as he brought cover in multiple positions. Only an attractive offer could make Chelsea change their mind. The hierarchy are happy with the current group of players. These people must be smoking the shittiest weed on fucking earth. They must be tripping out every fucking day.
Well, that's the thing, like, Curry, they're not gonna sell this January. They're not gonna sell those guys. I mean,
guys, again,
they have to sell one of these center backs. This is stupidity.
They're not gonna.
I get the Badia Shield PR.
If you sell Disasi, who else is gonna play when Tosin falls? Fofana's not fit right now. Badia Shili's not fit.
No, that's why we buy another. We just talked about literally PR for Fikayo Tomori because AC Milan want to get rid of him, and Juventus is one of the.
I'll be so honest with you. I really don't want to buy any more players. It's bad enough. Like, if I have to sit here, and you guys all feel the same way, if I have to sit here and say, damn, we need to buy more players. Motherfucker, we just spent 1.5 billion on this squad. Why are we saying we need to buy more players? Like, that just looks bad on us. I don't want that.
But that's because, like,
it's a bad look.
We still need goalkeepers too.
We still need a goalkeeper. We still need a striker.
It's like I said earlier. Marshall. Like, when it comes to some of these guys, and the talent idea has been great, but it's like, bro, the fact we need to still buy some of these guys, like the fact we still need a goalkeeper is because the goalkeepers we've signed are Robert Sanchez and a number 2. Let's be honest, Jorgensen's probably a number 2. So we still need a number 1. Like, we still need a number 1. It's centre back. The reason we need to get another centre back is because all the guys they keep signing are dog shit. Like, we've got Disasi, terrible. Badia Shield probably needs to go. Tosin, not good enough. Like, the fact that the only 2 centre backs we can say that might be good enough are our starting 2. Cool. You still need 2 or 3 more then for the squad anyway.
Yep.
And one of them's injury.
There anyway. You look in their midfield. One of our midfielders is constantly injured. Thank you, Mauricio Pochettino. One of the other midfielders is shit. And then the third midfielder after that is Casadei, who we're trying to loan. So we need another midfielder just because, like, we probably don't need that
every game.
We've got Santos coming back. Midfield is a bit different, to be fair, because we've got Santos coming back. But then winger, we need another winger because one of our wingers decided to take PEDs and failed.
Literally.
That's why we need another winger. Our fourth choice winger or our backup left winger decided to take PED drugs, apart from they weren't performance enhancing.
Sorry, Scott, I don't know if you've been watching Frankfurt a bit, or if anyone has been
performance enhancing.
Has anyone else been watching Frankfurt? Anyone else watching Frankfurt?
No.
I tried Frankfurt.
I'm
Yes, I've
saying
seen
this
some highlights. Yeah.
No, it's because I'm saying pay up till 50 million at the cap for Marmoush. I'm fucking telling you, he can play striker. He can play left wing. He's really good at set piece.
I'm scared about the Frankfurt cast.
No, do you know what it is? And I think Ahmed knows this as well because he's in the group chat. There's this, Jez told us about it. There's this weird thing in Frankfurt, especially attackers. Bro, when they leave Frankfurt, it's wraps. As soon as they leave
What
Frankfurt,
happened to that
it's
Silva
wraps.
guy? Remember him?
No, that was Leipzig.
No, bro, Marshall, let me tell you, Marshall. Let me tell you the attackers that played for Frankfurt, did bits and left.
Colomwani.
Bro.
You know, say more.
Okay, well.
Andre Silva, Luka Jovic.
We faced Jovic, by the way. We faced Jovic, by the way, guys. Remember?
Wait, didn't Jovic leave Real Madrid and then he ended up?
Yeah,
doing
we
well,
faced
or?
Jovic in the Europa League semi-final with Hazard.
No, but
Yeah.
Scott, that's why I said cap it at 50 million because all these guys went for stupid prices because PSG decided to pay 90 million.
Even like Haller didn't go for stupid money. It's all of these guys. Like it's just attackers.
Even
When they leave Frankfurt, I don't know what it is. It's like maybe it's the women, the food. I don't know what it is. It's
Wasn't it cancer for the most part for him?
Say again?
And then wasn't for Haller was cancer and then going
no, but that
through
happened later on.
No, but even so, like he had a decent career, but it was noticeably worse after he left Frankfurt.
I think what's funny, by the way, we faced two of their strikers in the Europa League semi-final.
No, because Scott, the reason why I'm saying this because Adrian's saying none of the specialty strikers. I'm not saying he plays a striker. I'm saying this as an option for a goal-scoring left winger because we need one. We need one. Like
No, I agree with you. Just
tomorrow.
We do need one, man. I agree with that, CP.
No, please. Ahmed.
No, but you said you want a goal-scoring winger. I didn't see his name. I'm not saying there's other guys there, definitely, but I do agree with the idea.
No, I know you agree. The cheeky wink after that reminded me of a certain person you might mention. That's why.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
you're talking about Barcola again, aren't you?
You know, but you know, I want to go back to something you guys talk about the transfer window, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can see a Chukwuemeka going. I can see maybe by the grace of God, you know, maybe if God graces me, and we can maybe see Chilwell leave the club. But realistically, guys, if we Casadei, obviously that might happen. That's why I'm not considering really. I don't really consider his transfer. But like realistically, guys, if we bring on anyone, generally it's either because we need to bring them in because they might be poached from us, and rather than us going for them in the summer, or I think the way that we've been hearing stuff, the club is clearly looking for loan deals and loan options, basically. That's what the club is looking for now. Whether that be obviously a Colomwani, sadly, even Evan Ferguson. You know what I mean? The thing is, I could see obviously in Kunku's an interesting situation, which I know we'll get to, but like. If we decide to do a swap deal with any club, because that's something the club has been secretly pushing. If you want to do a swap deal, we're there for you with Nkunku. I don't know who that. Maybe is that to PSG? Maybe is that to another club? Maybe. Go ahead, bro.
Any of you making the Sancho deal permanent? That's permanent, right?
That's already permanent. That's already permanent.
Okay. And I would like
if we finish above 14th, it's triggered.
And it's like it's so cheap that it's like you can't really go wrong. Like if it was like 50 mil, then I'd have a weird feeling about it. It was like 25 mil.
All right.
That's the problem. But like before you go, Doc, like the problem we have right now is that the way that the club is talking, they're talking like they're resting on their laurels. They're like, yeah, this squad's all right, lads. You know what I mean? Yeah, we can get the job done with this one. That's the way. And realistically, I don't technically blame them. I don't blame them for thinking if you say the aim is top 4, maybe get that Evan Ferguson in. You know, listen, that's this Ferguson in to give you that height stuff in the strike role. But if you think about it, but I'm saying, Marshall, think about it as a 6-month loan that you're not gonna buy him again. You take him for 6 months. He at least provides you the height in the box and stuff like that. And if he actually bangs for you, at least you've got like an option to buy him.
Let's have an honest discussion on Kolo Muani. It's a loan. Would you guys say no to a loan for Kolo Muani?
He's similar to Jackson for me.
Yes, that's a problem. We're
linked with Dilap, and Dilap is similar to Jackson.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
There's no way you just said that, Marshall.
What did you say?
Yeah, I said that.
After just watching that game we played.
Yeah,
Liam Delap. Yeah, it's not the same as Jackson.
Okay, what difference did you see in that game that Jackson doesn't do against other?
Delap just occupies defenders.
One at a time. But also, so first point you said, Dark. Delap stretches defenses, or Jackson stretches defenses. What did Delap do for the second goal? Did he not stretch our defense?
He was waiting for his team, and then he saw he had no options and took it himself.
And doesn't Jackson do that?
Yeah, but Jackson's more of a 1-2 flick around the corner.
But he also gets ahead of it.
That.
But he also runs in behind a defender, beats him on pace, and then waits for the rest of the team. We've seen the hold-up play. We saw how physical Jackson can get, and Delap gets physical too.
No. Marshall, we need to be honest, yeah. Delap is able to bully guys. Jackson cannot bully centre backs, bro. Yeah, case in point. Yeah, look at the but.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
See last season that he bullied Saliba and Gabriel.
Yeah, he literally sat Saliba down last season. Like, what are we talking? No, Jackson can bully people.
But he didn't bully him.
He's more than bullies, man.
What he does, what Jackson does is that he's able to use his speed. Yeah, and essentially his agility to move people out of the way. What that means is that whenever he's running, he's able to run at them, and then if he gets
we're talking about the draw of Esther.
Yeah. But if you look at the centre backs and the way that he drives them, he gets to the wrong side of the centre back, so they lose their balance. That's what he did with Saliba. He actually made him lose his balance against him, which is what happened in that game. Whereas I think with Delap doesn't need to do that, bro. Delap is like a flat track bully, bro. He will get the ball,
get out the way.
Boom, bitch, get out of the way, bro. That's what he does.
But again, that's the difference. Jackson has done that. I've seen him do that against Konate and Van Dijk. Like
he's not. He has not bullied Konate.
It's not his body though. Like he can do it,
but he can get physical. I'm not saying they're the same. I'm saying they're similar.
What he excels at.
So we're not saying he can get physical. He can get physical, but there's So think of Delap. Not to this extent. Like you know how Drogba was a flat track bully with his physicality. That's what he is. Also, Delap's way better than Jackson aerially. Way better.
I mean, I haven't seen the aerial battle, but like if that's the case, I'll give you that. Obviously,
sticking outside the box, Delap has that in his bag. Jackson has not scored too many outside his box. I think there's one outside of the foot from West Ham.
He does need to work on that. That's what I'm saying. They're similar. They're not the same. I'm just saying they're similar. They have aspects of the games that are very similar.
I think Delap is like 21 or something. Pay that money, man. If it's 16,
I'm all for it, but it's not going to be in the January window. It's what I'm saying.
No. But I would also please, Marshall, do not consider Kolo Muani. I've been watching him since Frankfurt. I watched him for France. Fuck no.
It's a loan.
No, Marshall. I'd rather risk it on Evan Ferguson than look at Kolo Muani in my fucking team. That's how bad.
I would not do that.
I would.
Why would you want Evan Ferguson?
He's like a weaker Jackson in my eyes.
But
it's another option, is what I'm saying. Because if you're not, if Jackson's having because here's the thing, like, and this is a good transition into Nkunku, right? Because we need to have this honest discussion on Nkunku. That guy, I don't want to see Jackson coming off for Nkunku anymore.
Yeah.
Jackson for Kolo Muani. Kolo, let's see what you could do. That's where I'm at right now.
To me, if you make that sub. Go ahead.
We're not spending too much money on a loan. Is what I'm trying to say.
No,
better than Nkunku, which isn't saying much.
No, I agree, but like for me, it just comes down to the profile thing of like Kolo Muani is too like. I don't think with Kolo Muani we bring him in.
Kolo is two chicks in the same ass.
No, I was gonna say like I think he's too similar. Like I was gonna say he's too similar to Jackson, but I don't know if he is. It's more of like he doesn't. His strengths don't really complement what Jackson's weaknesses are. The reason why, like with the lap, I understand there are some similarities between his and Jackson's game, but some of his strengths complement Jackson's weaknesses to the point where you can use him in certain games that Jackson either isn't playing well or it's not suiting him or whatever. Like for example, Kolo Muani against Ipswich we just played. He's not doing anything. He's a guy that wants to run in, not behind, off the last man.
Yeah.
You can't do that in a low block or a mid block. Like it's way harder to do that. So it's like I'm not even saying he's a bad player. It's just like it doesn't make sense for what we're trying to look for in a striker, of what we're trying to play now. Also, like I don't really know what he's like on the ball, because like that's a big thing as well. Like it's the reason why I don't really want Wood. I don't really want just a guy who's going to sit up there as like a lump. Like because like we saw it with Nkunku. Like Nkunku can't do a lot of things, but the main thing I expect him to do up front is the same thing Jackson does. And when he doesn't, you see how much of a detriment it is. You got to be able to hold the ball up. You got to be able to link play. You got to be a Giroud type number 9. But like even though you're good in the air and you're good with other things, you got to be able to hold the ball up. And I don't know if Colin Mawani can do that.
But I think one of the things that makes Liam Delap such a juicy target for Chelsea and the directors is not, obviously what you said, Scott, is totally valid, but I feel like what they're looking for a lot, and I forgot to say this earlier, we also have to remember that Maresca has kind of inherited this team. Not to say it's a bad team. Obviously, it's a great team in a lot of aspects, but it's not necessarily the team that is perfect for what he wants to do. There's still some imperfections, some players that we could bring in that would suit Maresca's system a little more. That's gonna, be something that we work on over time. But in terms of Kolo Muani, and I'm just saying this, right? I don't necessarily believe this. I haven't watched enough of the player to know. But I feel like what the scouts are looking for as well, and just as importantly, is what they do off the ball. Because we see what Nkunku does off the ball, and it's fuck all. It's literally fuck all. And to be honest, I don't know if it's because of Nkunku or because he just doesn't want to be here anymore. He's just fed up with getting bitch minutes off the bench and so on and so forth. But for me, like if Kolo Muani gives me pressing off the ball, if he puts pressure on a defense off the ball, then I think that's a plus to, as a substitute or someone that can compete for the rest of the season with Jackson. And also it's
Gallagher in the 9. Want some pressing up top?
Marshall.
Gallagher can press, but he can't defend.
You can ask Ahmed. Ahmed has the touch and the dribbling of Badia fucking Ashil as striker. I do not want Badia Ashil as striker. I never want to see that in my life. That's what Kolo Muani is. Trust me, I do not want him a 10-foot fucking pole. And if he's on the crazy wages that PSG usually get, he's on 170.
You don't want him. It's a loan up until the
end
of the
and
summer.
Just fucking wages are 174k euros a week. Fuck that. I'd rather risk spending 20k euros.
You said you wanted Evan Ferguson.
No, but like, okay, Marshall, I'll be real. The Evan Ferguson one I take on loan.
That's what I'm saying.
As long as it's just a loan, as long as it's just a loan, like there's no option. Like actually, if there's an option to buy, I'll take that as well because that's an option, right? Then it's like you can sign it as long as it's not obligatory. Basically, as long as it's a loan.
You guys seeing something in Evan Ferguson that I'm not, because I'm not convinced by this guy.
It's more. Again, it comes down to
profile.
It's profile and just like he's used to the league as well. I think that plays for me. It just comes like with this whole thing with Kolo Muani as well. Is this would be so out of left field? This would be so out of left field.
Well, it's an opportunistic signing, right? Or an opportunistic
I hate those.
signing or whatever.
Fuck the opportunity. This is a shit opportunity.
I hate those type of signings. I'll be real.
I mean, I don't know, because where are you guys at with Nkunku? Are you basically done with him as well?
Hell.
I'm gonna let the other guy speak on this one because
No, get rid. That's all you need to say is get rid of him.
And Dark, it's coming from me when I'm saying like I'm done with Nkunku. because I was a staunch defender.
Thank God you're not
going
gonna
to
defend him like Havertz. Oh, he's not annoying. No,
we don't. Let's not go back to that, bro. We don't need to. Yeah, low blow.
I will just disagree with that. I think for me personally.
Wait, you disagree with selling him or getting rid of?
I actually disagree. Yeah, man.
Wow.
I still.
Okay.
Listen. He's still for me. Listen, someone that I respect him. I love the way that he plays. I think my issue is just
he doesn't know who you are, Ahmed.
You know what I mean? I just think for me the issue is, man, we continuously play him in a position that he should not be playing in, bro.
No,
Please.
I'm not doing this, bro.
And for me, I refuse, I refuse for people, to give him such high standards, against Conference League teams where he should not. Where if I'm him, bro, why would I want to play Conference League minutes? Respectfully, bro. You know what I mean? Why do you want me to?
So you can play in the league?
No, because listen, I am Christopher Nkunku. You see what I do off the pitch. Even when I'm being nonchalant in the Conference League, I'm giving you goals and assists.
What does that mean?
Listen, what that means is, play me in my fucking position, for one game, in the flipping Premier League, and watch me cook. Simple as that.
He ain't gonna cook anything, bro. You're gonna get salmonella with him cooking.
I don't care. I don't care what you say.
What do you mean you don't care? You know the guy.
Until he plays one game in that 10 position, Marshall, in his actual position. No, he's not. Bro, people are talking about confidence.
Ahmed, bro, you tell me you know ball, but then you say things like this.
Marshall, we have only seen him play in the 10 in the Conference League games.
And he wasn't good there.
And he wasn't good.
No, he's defending a Ipswich.
This league, you're not getting this, bro. I don't understand why people expect
You literally did 10
even 10 out of 10 performances. No.
Okay. Hold on. Let me. Maybe you guys can agree with me, right? And I was gonna say this about the Sassi. I understand, and Scott alluded to this in an earlier stream earlier this month. I understand that the Sassi is playing out of position, right? But if you are a good enough player and defender, you can play that position and do a job. With Jackson, I've seen Jackson play as a striker, but the guy plays like a 10 on the pitch, and he gets involved, and he gets in those spaces almost like a false 9. Why can't Nkunku do that? Nkunku is a player that when he came to this club, I said, and I think Ahmed said, I think a lot of us said, this guy's going to be our next world-class talent. Like, we really believe in the talent. I really believe in the talent. I want him to really work out because I really like the talent. But, I understand, like, bro, you're not playing your minutes, all this stuff. You're not in an ideal position. But whatever Maresca's seeing in training, what we're seeing on the pitch, off the ball, brother, the game doesn't revolve around you. And I think that's one thing that when it comes to Nkunku, he was expecting, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the main guy. They're going to build a team around me. Unfortunately, bro, you hurt yourself. You got the knee injury. You didn't play for a long time in last season. Cole Palmer took your chain. That is what it is. So
can't blame him for feeling like that. Look at how Potts talked about him last season, you know?
Yeah. And to an extent, I get it. I do feel bad for Nkunku because it's just a victim of circumstances, right? But at the same time, bro, Thierry Henry literally comes out and says, when I was under Arsene Wenger, he told me one of the best pieces of advice I think made him one of the best players in the Premier League ever. That when you are playing with certain players, you can't expect the ball to come to you or for them to play you the way you want to be played. And for me, Nkunku just screams of, bro, I want you to play the way I want to play. He doesn't accommodate for the rest of the team. That's why against Ipswich, bro, we were basically down to 10 men. And you could see him drop to 10. You could see him playing in the same position as João Felix. Like, if Jackson comes on for 20 minutes, has just as much, if not more of an impact than you do, again, it's not an excuse. If you are a good baller, you can play any position, bro.
No. We're not doing this. The reason why Jackson can do what he does best, which is running behind and do the stuff that we speak about so well, is because that's what Jackson is good at. That's not.
What's Nkunku good at?
For me, Nkunku is good at being the guy that's behind that number 9, right? And creeping into the box, gets the ball there, and then he shoots. That's what he's
But how many times has Jackson
play
dropped down to be in that position?
We try him in the 10.
So he's that limited. So he's that limited. He's no box crasher and nothing. But he's the Black Gallagher.
Listen, you're saying that, not me. No,
Personally, I wouldn't.
No, but like I think the other part of the problem is that when he plays this 9th position for us, right? The midfield right now is too cluttered. Does that make sense? I
get that to an extent,
right?
yeah.
And the problem is also when he plays for us in the.
So how can Jackson drop deep if he?
He doesn't even.
That's the problem we have,
no. Jackson, I actually would argue, barring I think what game was it? Fulham. He was dropping a bit more deep, but a lot of games now.
Yeah, these last few games he's just been goal hanging. Yeah.
He's still been dropping deep at times.
No. But he does that at times. But at least now the way his game has changed under Maresca is that he's more in behind now. He's more in behind, less link up, more out wide and everything like that. And that's the difference I think with Jackson. With Nkunku, he doesn't do the thing of like running behind. He likes to build the play. He's almost consistent.
He's a princess, is what
he's almost. It's almost. I think the example I have to use sadly, it's kind of like Palmer, where he's in the motion of everything. Like it's kind of like getting a touch, motion, and then like there's the finishing motion, right? And so it's just a problem of like. The midfield's really cluttered. You can't do that the way you play anymore either. And so, and I don't think he can necessarily adapt too much physically, because like physically he's not as strong as Jackson in my eyes when he's trying to do that turn and and stuff like that. So it becomes much more difficult for me. I just think for me this false 9 thing is the big issue for me more than anything else. I would even advocate play him in the left 10. I just think for me, Marshall, we are being. I think a good example of this is like Cucurella. When Cucurella came to this football club, we saw the way he was getting cooked, the way he was playing really poorly and stuff like that. Listen, we remember. But then when this guy was playing left back, playing his position consistently well and stuff like that, the game changed. And for me, Nkunku, I honestly believe in Nkunku. If we decide to actually do that,
saying all this about
if you actually play in Nkunku Cam and actually decide, Palmer, you know what? Let's return you to your OG position. The game might change, chat. That's what I'm saying. The game might
tweak the system to fit a shitty player.
Sorry, that argument, by the way, of Cucurella is so disingenuous. We're talking about a Cucurella, by the way, that was in his first season with the club. Nkunku isn't. He still played last season. He didn't play a lot. He still played. You're talking about a guy who had his house robbed, who was getting booed every week.
Tonsillitis or some shit, right? Didn't he get that?
Like, Nkunku's not having that. Like, Nkunku hasn't got that.
Bro, I think Cucurella plays a better 10 than Nkunku. I mean, I ain't go front. I ain't go front. That's crazy.
Oh my god.
And that's all, like that again. That's what it is. Like,
Say louder for the people in the back. Like Ahmed was.
Cucurella plays a better 10 than fucking Nkunku, bro.
Bro, yeah. Wait.
Not fast.
Okay.
I do the technique. You know what I mean?
You gotta have the technique.
Marshall, get off your knees.
No, I'm just listen. I really like, and also, ladies and gents, we're close to 100 viewers on here. We're only on 25 likes. Let's get these likes up, please. But I really like Nkunku. But everything you're saying, right? If I see myself in you sometimes, Ahmed, because I made these same arguments for Kai Havertz, and now here you are glazing for Nkunku, bro. Listen, I think Nkunku's a really fucking talented player, but now I'm vexed because if you can't play the striking position because you're limited in you need to make these certain runs and all that stuff, bro, even in this system, he doesn't necessarily play striker. It's a versatile attack. You can drop in and be the 10 and have Zhao run ahead of you or Cole run ahead of you. Like it's I just don't think it's an excuse because I feel like you can do a lot more in this system than what you're seeing on the pitch. And if the And if the argument is that he's limited in what he can do and he can only do that, then I'm sorry. I just don't think you're good enough and you don't fit the system, because the system asks for attackers that are versatile. And if you're not versatile, I'm sorry. You don't fit the system. And I hate to say it because I like Nkunku.
When did the system become you need to be versatile?
It's always been that way.
Is Center a versatile winger? What Center?
Yes, he can play in the right and he can play in the 10.
Centro's job in our system is to be a left winger and do one job. But
has he not played on the right as well?
Oh, so
what's talking about in game?
Nkunku has also been versatile for us at times. Has he not? There we go.
He played left wing once.
No.
What is it? No.
And everyone, and mind you, that's been.
Sancho only played one game for us. Right wing.
Bro, I ain't even gonna lie.
Don't do that.
Everyone, Nkunku has played left wing.
Okay, right mid shit, you know, right mid.
Nkunku has played left wing, and I'll be so honest with you, that may have been his best game this season.
I want to just say, by the way, big up to Demonan. But Demonan makes a great point, yeah, about the fact that Nkunku was our best 10.
I ain't talking to you.
Yeah,
in preseason, cool, great,
yeah,
fantastic.
and guess who was not playing there? You know
what the fuck?
And what?
Yo, we're bigging up preseason.
No, I'm
beginning
doing this.
By the way,
I'll give an example of when things were working. I just think, for me, at the end of the day, guys, yeah, I think this Palmer in the 10 situation is blocking some of our players
because you're not good enough.
No,
if you can't display Cole Palmer in the 10, you ain't good enough.
It's not, because for me, a big thing is, yeah, Palmer right now is meandering in that position, at least in my eyes. Because of performances.
And what does Nkunku do?
Ahmed, this is cool and all. Hang on, this is cool and all. Last game we played, we had all three of them playing the 10, and the best one of all of them was Palmer. So that tells you everything you need to know.
It's not even like they're not all playing 10. One of them playing like a left.
No, they are playing 10.
No.
Alex. No. I'm not letting you finish. No, Scott, I get what you're saying. One plays on the right and one plays on the left. I know what you mean. But I'm just saying, though, Palmer has a bit more freedom compared to the other guy. That's what I'm trying to. No, he doesn't.
No, yes, he does. Yo.
No, he doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I saw Felix. No. We're not doing this. No, I'm not doing. We're not doing it. I saw Felix and left back at times against it.
That's what I'm saying.
From the defending. Like, we're not doing this. Like, they all get freedom.
Sorry, Scott, go ahead.
That's cool. They all get freedom playing in the 10 because that's what the system necessitates. All three of them played in the 10 for various different times, but all three of them played in the 10 against Ipswich, and Palmer was the best of all three of them.
And I think one thing...
And Felix was meh.
Ahmed, one thing I need to point out as well, right? And this is something that we need to really take into consideration whenever we have these discussions about these players playing in certain positions. Bro, I for a second during Ipswich, I was excited to see Jackson and Nkunku play together, because I remember the Pochettino preseason, these guys had link-up play, and I was like, oh, yo, maybe we'll see that cook. Yo, we were wide open. Like, defensively, we were not okay when they were both on the pitch. And Nkunku does not provide the defensive ability that Jackson does, and that's a liability.
All right, Marshall. So, listen, guys, I think we've had all your points in regards to Nkunku. All I'm going to say, free Nkunku, free the 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah, free him.
Free the 10. You know what I mean? I'm not top.
Get rid of Felix. I don't think you.
But
I don't know about Felix, to be honest.
We got March in our voice.
No, listen, I don't think Felix has been that great this season either. But I will say he's been clear of Nkunku. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like,
I'll be real. I don't have the energy.
But the thing is,
so marginal.
Scott. The thing is, though, at least based off of last game. One aspect of João Felix's game that I did see that I was like, okay, this could be something we could work with in the future is the heading ability.
Nope.
What do you mean no?
There's just no way you want
hang on.
He headed it more than anyone else, and he was accurate.
No, he had
heading
opportunities. He had two heading opportunities. The first one he missed. Like, he had a free header at the back post and missed. Like, didn't miss the header, as in missed the ball. Like, it went over his head. because he jumped too early. The second one, it's again a free header, and he doesn't even have to jump. I don't think, and just headers it straight at Ipswich player. The only difference between Nkunku and Felix this season is that Leicester game. They are both mid.
I'd say Felix gives you more effort. That's the only difference for me.
I mean, for sure. I think.
Again, I'll be real. The effort thing outside of that Leicester game, I haven't seen it. Like that Leicester game where he played well.
Felix sliding back and doing the passion shit.
Bro, he does. Do you know what? Do you know what's funny, by the way? He does the same thing Gallagher does at times, where he'll lose the ball, and then go and slide challenge the ball he just lost, and go. Everyone goes, "Oh, look at that! He's got effort. He goes to slide challenge." Yeah,
and Nkunku just lets it play, man.
Are you gonna do that, man? Are you gonna take that, Marshall? He's calling your guy, Gallagher.
Well, first of all, it's not even my guy. All right, my guy is Jackson. All right.
Your guy Jackson.
Wow.
Your guy Jackson. Oh, I know that. I know. I think it is. I know.
We have come full circle.
What is going on here?
Oh boy.
No.
Nicholas Jackson.
No. But all jokes aside, I think with Zhao, we've seen more effort out of him this season. We've seen him improve, right? Since the beginning of the season. I think I've seen him improve. Like he has more off of Let me I gotta play this now. Ever since
until he scores a goal, I don't see any improvement.
Well, technically, I wanted to remind you guys, even though he was offside, he was the only one that scored a goal last game.
You know what's
I know he was offside.
I don't know if you saw that report from I think it was Pies' banner, but apparently he didn't even want João Felix. So
Pies corroborated the Guillaume Balaguer report basically.
Yeah, and listen, man, he wanted Meridian. You know what I mean?
I said this on Lewis's stream earlier, but I'm gonna say it again here for you guys, mainly on the panel, who probably wouldn't have heard it. That's a bigger issue for me, by the way. And this isn't even shots at Felix. Like, what if you wanted Felix? Why didn't you get him when we were gonna get him after his loan? Because if you were just gonna buy him anyway, and you didn't care what the coach thought, just buy him then. Why did you wait 6 or 12 months, whatever it was, to buy him for another coach that didn't want him?
Was he cheaper? That could be my only explanation.
Because they were cheaper, and then I also think the other problem was, guys, remember we were trying to make the Neto deal happen, and it wouldn't surprise me if because
the Netflix.
Yeah, it wouldn't even surprise me because they wanted to keep the Neto deal quiet and to make sure that no one else was onto it. That they agreed to make a little side deal with the agent essentially. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Bit of a make way for the Gallagher deal.
Yeah,
as well.
but didn't Neto happen before Felix?
No. So Neto happened just before. So basically we had the Simon Meridian deal collapsed. Then I think we had Neto. Here we go, and then Felix. Then the Felix stuff came out. Does that make sense?
Even so, I think the whole thing's stupid because what we should have done, and I hope we did do this, but I'm saying if we didn't, what we should have done is just gone okay. We want to sell Gallagher to Athletic Country. Okay, we want to sell Gallagher to you. This is okay. It makes sense to do a swap deal that's not a swap deal, whatever, that we buy a player. We want, or who are you willing to give us? Who's available? These 6 players. Cool. Enzo Maresca. These 6 players are available from Athletic Madrid. Who do you want?
But they didn't, bro. I genuinely think it was
No, they didn't, and that's what's stupid. Because we've now got a guy who doesn't fit the system, isn't trusted by the manager, who doesn't really offer much into this team when he does play. Mm-hmm. It's cool. He's just going to have to be sold in a year.
What's his contract looking like?
He's got a 6-year deal, right? He's got a 6-year deal.
No one's buying that motherfucker.
I swear to you, he's got a big deal, bro. He's actually got a really big deal, if I'm mistaken. I can double check what Felix is. Let me see, Felix Charles.
I'm not gonna lie, someone might buy him just off the Felix name.
Will they?
Not gonna lie.
How, bro? I don't understand. By the way, this guy
he's got a lot of fangirls. I was one of them.
Bro, this guy hasn't been wanted.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Oh my god, he's here till 2031. What the?
That's what I'm saying. So the reality is, he's gonna be here a while. So you have to make him work.
He gave him a 7-year deal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's
Marshall. We actually have to make it. The thing about João Felix here that confuses me is that the gap.
Cry more. Cry more.
I think he's
But
decent.
No.
I think he's been decent.
I actually said again. I'm not really like one of those Felix haters, but my issue is like
I'm not either. Well, I am. I was.
The manager doesn't rate him, which is okay. That's fair enough. But then we have him for essentially for another 6-7 years, basically, right? So he has to on some level work for us. He has to work for us on some level. It's not like Nkuku, who's got at least Nkuku's going to have 3 years left on his deal for us. So at least he's sellable. He's actually sellable.
Nkunku is sellable, you said?
Yeah, I think Nkunku's there's more of a market for Nkunku than there is Felix.
And Nkunku's got a lesser contract. He only signed for us for 5 years, by the way.
Forget the contracts. Just in general, there's more of a market for Nkunku than there is Felix. Because Nkunku has a bigger track record. Like, I think he's got whether he's a better player or not is debatable, but like I think overall, at their best, he's a better player. But it's like there's just more of a market for him. Like with Felix, I was about to I find it amazing that at least 4 different managers have not wanted this guy. At least 4 different managers.
He's a bit of a failed project now, so.
But that's just what I'm saying. Like,
he's failed wonder kid.
Yeah.
I think for me, like, and listen, I get the deficiencies. Like, I was a big, advocate of not bringing them in. A lot of it because of
lazy, lazy, too lazy.
I thought he was really like a lazy player. Like, always just wants ball to feed, hero ball, and you still see the hero ball in him. But I feel like this season he understands what it takes to be in the team, and he's putting in the effort to do the off the ball work, which is more than I can say for Nkunku, to be honest. I'm willing to be a little bit more patient with Felix. I think with Nkunku, it's just one of those like cut our losses. It's just one of those players I just don't think fits the system, and I don't want to change the system just to benefit one player. Like I like the system the way it is, where it's benefiting all of our attack rather than just one player. But JC, big up to you, bro. Long-time supporter of the channel. How you doing, bro? What you saying?
Yeah, great. Can you hear me? Because I'm on earphones today. So yeah.
We can hear you.
Yeah, Felix, I mean, right from the first time when he moved to Atletico, he has the talent. He looks good to the eye. But I think like during the youth years, he was the main guy in the team with all the kids playing around him because he was the person and the team's built around him. But now like in Atletico, that doesn't work. And in Chelsea as well. So he looks like a FIFA kind of a player with all the skills, everything great. But when you have to like really perform, there is kind of an algorithm hack that it's not working. So, but at least in his Chelsea tenure, what I can see from his body language and his effort is like he's trying. He's trying to be part of the team and trying to win his position even when he's playing for Conference League. He's working hard. Neto in Conference League games was working hard. Nkunku, maybe he's working hard, doesn't look like that, but like maybe Nkunku has the same kind of aura like they had this Arsenal player, the Turkish player, I forgot the name, from Germany.
Ozil.
Like who? Yeah.
Ozil. Okay, you think
Ozil,
he might have that same body language?
Yeah.
Oh no, but Ozil used to actually run though.
Yeah, but like with Nkunku, it looks like he's like disinterested or something like that. But like he has got the quality, and I really do not know. I mean, it's too early to make any judgments of on any of these players, and maybe that's why Maresca said like it's early days. Like we did hit a purple patch, but now some of the lingering problems come back, and like okay, we see how he moves ahead with that. But like if Nkunku really wants to go, then I would ideally like to sell him or swap him and show him first to Bayern Munich, because they have a player who hasn't signed a contract for 18 months, and it's more or less the left side forward player. So if they want to swap with Nkunku, it might be a conversation, and that would be great.
I mean,
sounds good. I'm down to swap Nkunku for anyone, honestly.
If he's talking about who I think he's talking about as well, Bayern, I would happily take him.
I wouldn't be happy if that person.
Like who's playing on the left side, the forward.
You mean Sane, correct? I'm assuming.
Musiala.
Oh, you mean Musiala? Sorry, okay.
I wasn't thinking either of those two.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna take Koeman?
Musiala, another one of my ballers.
No, Ahmed. I feel like I feel like you like my shout. By the way, I feel like you like what I'm going to say.
I hate it. Let's bring him in. That's what I'm saying.
I was gonna say, I'll tell you what. If there's anyone I'm taking for Bayern in terms of that, obviously I'm taking Musiala, but they're not selling Musiala. Next up for me, I'm taking Mathis Tel.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's good too.
Right?
Yeah, but Musiala isn't signing a contract with them, huh? It's 18 months left.
I thought he was.
No, but I feel like he will. Like he's someone I do feel like he
they're
will.
gonna give him. They're gonna give that about a Supermax, bro. They're gonna give that guy a Supermax, bro. He'll be alright, man.
Yeah, and I feel like if he does leave, he'll go Real Madrid, like or City. Like I feel like those are the only two teams that are going to be willing to go out and buy him. Because like, obviously I'd love to get Musiala. Like I'd take him in a heartbeat, but I just don't think there's the market there. Whereas like with Tel, I don't know how much I know under Tuchel he didn't play.
Scott, you can market it easily to Musiala. Look, you will be on the left side, Palmer in the middle, Estevao on the right. You're a Chelsea fan. And
you got your boy Sancho there.
Yeah. And
my issue right now, my issue is though right now, JC, is that I feel like our midfield right now, particularly in the attacking part, is way too clogged. Like at least the way we play right now, there's just too many. There's not enough space
for tens.
Just in general, right now, the way we play right now, there's just too much. The amount of space that these guys are going to be working with is going to be a bit more limited than they usually will. I don't know about.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, like the space they're working with right now, like Palmer's working on some space, the other one's working somewhere else, but like it's just there's just not enough right now, if that makes sense. So
yeah, but Musiala's play style is based around not having space, basically. The way he dribbles, manipulates the ball. Can 1-2. So I could see him working.
I feel like we need a winger, bro. I'll be honest, man. We definitely need a winger.
No, we definitely do now with the move.
We need like a shooting winger. Like I'll be honest, like, we've got two guys that can create really well for us. We've got one guy that can shoot, although he's been quite poor as of recent in terms of recent form. But then we need another guy that's going to be consistent for us. Now, there's a lot of options out there in the market. If you want me to let you know, I'll let you know.
Anyways, let's breeze past that for a second. The problem with Musiala too is we have too many tens, dude. He doesn't even get him enough output in Bayern Munich. If you look at his output,
when he's another flary on the.
But do you not think that part of that was kind of on Tucheliban? I can't like man. You was stolen.
Nah, man, you got Kane right there scoring 30 goals.
I always feel like, but I feel like with Kane, he's like. You know, he's above a system, bro. That guy will always make it work. And I feel like
Musiala can.
He's never got the output his entire career, like the crazy output. I'm talking about goal scoring and assisting. He's amazing. He would be an amazing player. But then we have too many non-shooters.
He's got the John Felix problem.
We have Sancho who doesn't shoot enough. we have Neto who doesn't shoot enough. We have Madueke who's off. We're gonna have another playmaking, dribbling left side. So we're basically getting a souped up.
Can I ask you a question? Like, from a winger perspective, what would you expect in terms of output?
10 to 15.
10 goals in the league and 5 assists.
He's done that, but that's if that's the target. Musiala's done that twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like guys, as long as our wingers get 20 GNA in the sense that they get like.
He's on course to do that this year, by the way, as well. He's on course to have 3 years in a row of 10+ goals.
Yeah, but that's what's been the same for Nkunku. I have to see him. I don't know if he can do it in this league. That's the thing.
That's fair.
I don't know. I mean, well, first off, big up Kiei. Is that how you pronounce your name? Kyei? Kiei. Big up to you, brother. Thanks for joining. What are you saying?
Thank you. It's Chi. I'm a Ghanaian. Chi.
Right.
That's how it's
big up to you, brother.
I have a lot to say. So first of all, about Joao Felix, Scott said something about no club wanting to buy him. It's because of the high price tag that was by ETM. So after,
hey, can you speak a little closer to your mic just so we can hear you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds
Perfect.
better.
Is it better
There you
now?
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said draft Felix. Clubs weren't after him because of the high price tag that was
Yes.
placed on him. Not specifically that he wasn't wanted because of the high price tag. So he came to Chelsea on loan. Wanted to buy him because of the high price tag, and Pochettino didn't follow up. But Barcelona too, there was the same high price tag, so they didn't follow up as well. And when we sold Gallagher to ATM, that's where they reduced the price for him. That's where we got the opportunity to buy Draft. So that's my little reasoning behind that. And for Nkuku as well, I think it's good. It seems he has stepped out and the system is not really helping him. Um, so in the system, the striker is supposed to be very good in hold up play and making behind runs. And that's not the strong attribute of Nkunku. When you look at him in Bayern Munich, no, at Leipzig, he was your typical second striker or 10. So he feeds off the energy of the main striker. So you make runs at the blind side of the defenders. The defenders are will be focused on the main striker and will make runs at the blind side of these defenders. So that's how he has been moving and scoring a lot of goals. But he's here being tasked to be the main target man, holding up play and linking up. That's not his game. So I don't think Nkunku playing as a 9 will work in this system. With the way Maresca is using his 9. And even as a 10, if you look at the 10 is supposed to be able to drive with the ball, have an eye for pass, and a little bit, it should be a little bit chaotic, which in a sense suits Draft more than Nkuku. So with this current system, it seems it will be a bit difficult for Nkuku to really fit in the system. If it was Pochettino, he wouldn't have found any problem. So that's my little take.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, I just don't think I don't think Nkunku's a bad player. I just want to put that out there. I don't think he's as bad a player as maybe a lot of people like to tout, but I don't think he's as good as myself anticipated him to be. Like, if you're as good as I thought you would be, then you're versatile enough to play any position and you make it work. Like, the same strengths that you have as a 10, you should be able to display them similarly as a 9 or as a left winger.
Yeah, but when you look at Liverpool system right now, they use Diaz as a 9, but his movement, his way, their use of a 9 and our use of a 9 is very different. You see, Diaz is playing as a 9, Kapu can play as a 9 because of the way their system is built up. So such players can play as a 9 in that system. If we have Jota in our system, Jota will fail because of how Maresca uses his 9. You understand? Yeah, so I think Maresca should know that Nkunku is a very quality player and should be able to tweak his system a little bit to accommodate him a little bit somewhere else so that he can make good use of these players, because these players are very good players. They are very, very good players. Nkunku was one of the best players in Bundesliga. Although some of us don't rate Bundesliga players, but we have seen most players from Bundesliga who come and do well here. So I don't think if you just sell Nkunku just like that because of 19 games where we are still figuring out our system.
But it's not even just that. Like, I think first things first with Maresca, I think this season, very much like what he said at the beginning of the season, it's, getting the players acclimatized to the system, learning the system. I think we've seen good results, and some of us and myself, I'm speaking for myself on this. some of us have convinced ourselves that, oh, the players have adapted to the system. But I think I've come to the realization these last 3 games that, oh no, there's still work to be done. Like, there's still parts of the system that need to be tweaked and improved. And for me, this season is going to be that in particular, improving on the system, working out and, smoothing out the deficiencies in the system. In Kunku, we're not going to be able to tweak the system until we've perfected the foundation. In Kunku, for me, is not going to have a chance to play as a 10 very often. And ahead of him in the pecking order is João Felix. So you as a player, if you are good enough as a player, if you're as talented as we all thought you were, then you should be able to acclimatize to being a 9. You should be able to drop into the deeper positions and do the 10 role that you want to do from that position, or show the characteristics that, take the best parts, the best attributes of your game and apply it to the position you're playing now. And I think that's my issue with Nkunku. It doesn't help that he also seems to not be happy, right? I know there's a lot of rumors going around how he's not happy.
I don't think
because
he's
there's
not.
no smoke without fire. If there's a lot of links and a lot of these journalists saying like, oh, Nkunku's not very happy at Chelsea, all this and that, I think, and when you hear his interview too, he doesn't sound very enthusiastic on Chelsea. When he went on his last international break, he talked to me.
Add a little bit? Can I add a little bit? Okay, there were some links with about his agent speaking to Barcelona or something as well. But if we look at the context, the first season he came here, in the preseason he got injured, and we didn't see him the whole year, almost the whole year. We had a horrible season, and he was nowhere to be seen. Jackson worked his socks off, finished the season well, and now we have a second season. You've just come out of an injury. You have to prove it. You've not played anything for Chelsea, is it? You just came and got injured in the preseason. You are a new player. You have to get to know. You have to prove yourself. You have to have something in the bank. Like okay, it's unfortunate the injury happened or anything, but
I get that.
There should not be any entitlement. There should not be any entitlement. And once you are finding it difficult to compete, you start talking with other clubs. Man, you were paid 1 year's salary, and
sit on the bench.
Opportunity you want to
Yeah,
jump
Scott,
out.
answer this question, Scott. Answer this question, Scott. Yeah.
Scott, do you want to answer? Or do you want me to answer it?
I'm just trying to tell Scott though. He can answer.
Okay, I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna answer JC's comment, TKL's comment, and then I want to hear from David. But this kind of goes with what JC's saying and what TKL's saying. Malo Gusto, Ahmed, has had 2 seasons where he's given us solid performances, where he's almost to an extent established himself as a starting right back because Reece James was not available, and he has stepped up. He has had multiple man of the match performances, multiple brilliant performances. So Malo Gusto, in a sense, has proven that he can be a really good player, has proven that he is really talented and can be the starting right back for Chelsea. Unfortunately, he's not having a good season. Unfortunately, he's being asked to do a role that is completely not suited for what he does, because let's be honest, passing as a defensive fullback is much more different than passing as a midfielder. It's a different role you're being asked to do completely. For me, Malo Gusto has bought himself some time. Much like what JC said, I'm sorry, Nkunku. What have you done for me at Chelsea to tell me you must be the number 10? I know you're so talented. Like, bro, this isn't FIFA. At the end of the day, you have to prove it on the pitch. You have to show me on the pitch. And let's be honest, and Scott can vouch for me on this, we've seen the Conference League matches with Nkunku playing as a striker, with Nkunku playing as a 10, and quite frankly, they're not that impressive. They're not good enough. They're really not. They're lackluster. Like, let's just say this. You take Ronaldinho and you put him in, actually, I don't even need to go there. Look at Jadon Sancho when he came back from injury. We put him in the Conference League match against, who was it? It was the German team, Heidenheim. And he bossed that team. You could tell he was out of his league. And you could tell he was completely out of that league. Someone, hold on, give me 1 second. Someone's mic is has a lot of background noise going on. You could tell when Jadon Sancho played that game against Heidenheim, the bro was completely out of that league. Like he was way ahead of everyone in that league. I have not seen that type of performance from Nkunku in the 10th position when we saw him against Noah. I saw very jammy goals, very dodgy performances, some sparks here and there, but that's not good enough. Nkunku, if you're going to be considered this world-class talent, you need to show that you're way, way more talented than anyone in the Conference League. You need to look like the giant amongst gnomes. Like, you need to really stand out, and he's not stood out. So, Nkunku, you've not shown me why you should be starting ahead of Palmer, why you should be getting Premier League minutes. That's just being honest. But David, I've spoken enough. Go ahead, David. Big up to you. I see you in the chat all the time. Welcome to the call-in show, bro. What are you saying?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, brother.
Yeah, so basically, just some short I have to say. For me, Nkunku is gonna leave coming the end of the season. He has no place in the squad.
Make sure you look at Ahmed when you say that, by the way.
He knows it. He knows it. We can all see it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
So between him and Felix, for me, I prefer Felix in the squad more because Felix is more. Felix could fit this squad, fit this system a lot more than Nkunku, especially in that 10 role. Because when I'm looking at Cole, the next person in line for me who steps up after Cole is Felix for that 10 spot. And Nkunku can't get in there. He can't. That's good for me personally. And for 9, I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing him in the 9 because he just doesn't do what Jackson does for us. And that hurts us. Like, we could see it. So, yeah.
What you got to say about that Nkunku Glazer? Yeah,
You know, man, listen, you know, it's all well and good. Everyone is, you know, free to have their own opinion. But, you know, I will stick by my own personal opinion of saying, until I see him as starting in the 9, in the 10, I should say, sorry, apologies, in the Premier League, not the backwards European League, with all due respect, yeah, and he has a stinker, my decision remains the same.
But I don't think we'll ever get to see that, though. That's the
And
point.
then if that, so if that's the case, I know people have had my point. Then please let him go. Then there's no point of him being in the squad. Generally, there's no point of him being in the squad. Bring me a stop deal for Bradley Barcola from PSG as
my days, bro. Nah, okay, you're done. You're done. In the bin, bro. In the bin. I didn't even mean to play that song. You got me rattled now. In the bin. In the bin. What are we doing, bro? You know what someone needs to do with Ahmed? They need to go on Gronk AI, and you know how they have those homeless people that like to predict the end days and stuff? They need to do that for Ahmed when it comes to playing Nkunku in the 10. And Nkunku in the 10, he will prosper. It'll be 2035, and Nkunku will prosper in the 10. I promise you. Go ahead, yeah, what's up?
What is your obsession, Ahmed, with French mate?
I don't really have an obsession with players. It's just because I watch more. No, I've mentioned a lot of other. I've mentioned quite a few players that are of non-French heritage, quite a few times. You know, but like for example, the ones that I do mention as of recently is because I've been watching a lot more League 1 more so than anything else. Only because because of the fact that, in my personal opinion, it's more to do with, you know, I watched them a lot more. That's the best league. That's probably the best country right now in terms of up and coming talent. If you're being honest as well. To the production talent too. So, you know, I'm just trying to find what's best for my club. That's all it is.
And one more. How good do you think they would do if they come over here?
I honestly always say, like, I think the Premier League and the French League are probably the most like each other in terms of like acclimatization, how players come back into it. So I probably say it's probably the more seamless league in general. But of course, there might be a little bit of like overrated time, but I think it's the most seamless in general.
Okay.
But the reason why I say Barcola is because he's definitely got that finesse thing in him, right? Where he can finesse that ball into the box quite easily. And I think
we have wingers that can finesse the ball.
No, but what I mean by that is that obviously he's got a good finish shot on him, of course, but he's more so with him. It's about the finishing. He's a finish first guy. He doesn't create. He's there to like finish the job because obviously they've got Dembele on the other side, who, with all due respect, is not good, but like he's their main finisher. And Mr. Safa, you know what I mean? You can say whatever you like, bro. You don't watch League One, I watch League One, so you can hold that, you fraud.
Who's he better than? Which winger is he better than in the squad right now?
That's a good. I'd probably say right now he's definitely better than Madueke. There's no denying that.
Okay.
Definitely better than. I think right now, if you honestly, the amount of goals and assists he's got this season, you would have to say right now it's better than Sancho right now. I think Neto, when he's at his best, you can't compete with him. That's what this is me being fair, right? By the way, but Ryan, this guy genuinely, I always say, really watch his game, particularly this season. Last season, he was really behind Mbappe because Mbappe was always going to be the star on the left wing. So I would really advise people to watch him, bro. I'll be real.
What are you talking about Barcola?
He asked me a question about why I think he's good, so I gave him the answer, Marshall. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
You know what, Marshall,
you know, special, bro.
You know, Marshall, if someone asks you about why career is good, I know you're going to be on your knees too, doing your thing, innit? So
I love how you said two. So you're admitting that you're on your knees for Barcola.
I'm not on my knees. Chill.
Listen, man, I didn't out myself.
Okay.
No, but like he's not French Madrid because he doesn't do that much of like the skill stuff that Madrid was known for initially. By the way,
so what does he do?
He's a lot more. He's got a really good. So he's really good, great physically. He's good. He's got a good amount of pace on him. He's got a good, I would say, dribble package. What I mean by that is more so the way he's able to get past his man, particularly when he drives. Particularly when he drives at them, it's quite good. By the way, he's got that really great.
I think they're talking about his package, bro. Like, whoa,
dribble package. Marshall, what is going on, guys? Get your mind out of the guy.
I heard dribble package. I'm like, what? Is he paying for a cable plan? Like, what the hell are you talking about, bro?
You know what, Marshall, man?
Who says a player has a dribble package?
Stop right there. Stop right there. I'm not having Ahmed prop up the French Brennan Johnson. Okay, I'm just the fact that everyone in the chat, as soon as he was asked which winger is he better as, and he went, Madueke, that means Barcola is no good. Okay, Madueke is an average winger to begin with. Okay, Barcola is a Brennan Johnson type. Okay, he is nothing. He's not.
Are you watching him play, Marshall? Not Marshall, sorry.
He's not a baller. I've watched him play a bit, and I asked Strasbourg Steve, and Steve doesn't rate him that much. Okay,
listen,
and he watches more football than you. Okay, I take my European football knowledge from Steve. Okay, and he's up there. All right, he is average. Stop mentioning Barcola. You know how good he is. He's not linked to any club. That's how good he is.
Because he's just signed a contract.
No, contracts in football don't matter.
But he just signed it last year. What do you want him to do? Like, this is like his first.
No. Listen to what I said. He is so good. No one's linked to him.
Oh, so because he's linked to no one, that means he's shit. We can't do that, bro.
Yeah, probably.
That is not true. That is not true.
It does mean he's shit. Yeah. If he's that good, if he's good by what you say the standards is, why is he not linked to anyone then? Why is he not linked to Bayern Munich or any English club? Why is he not linked to an English club?
He made the big move already for at least for him.
No, it doesn't matter.
He's linked to PSG.
French league is dead. The French league is dead. It's dead. As a concept, it's dead. No one watches it that much. Barely got a TV deal. The star has gone in Mbappe. He's gone to Spain. He's not even ripping it up.
He's literally got.
He's rubbish.
If I'm not mistaken, he's literally
absolutely rubbish.
What are you doing here, man? This is actually ridiculous.
What do you freaking do? Why don't we get the winger from Celtic? Why don't we do that? It's the equivalent. Why don't we do that?
That's not true. Oh well, bro. Whatever.
It is. It's the equivalent.
It's literally
not rubbish.
True. That's
he is rubbish.
He's rubbish for you, but he's not rubbish.
No, I rate Gittins because Gittins actually rips up in the Champions League as well. You want to talk about a striker, proper striker called Gittins. from Bayern Munich. From Borussia Dortmund. Not this.
He's a winger,
fraud
not a
Barcelona.
striker.
Huh?
He's a winger. He's not a striker.
Barcola's
Gittins.
a winger. Barcola's a winger.
No, but Bayern Gittins is a winger. He's not a striker.
I never said he was a striker.
You just said he was a striker, bro. He's
No,
a proper
you
striker.
said he was a striker. No, you said I said he was a
No,
striker. I didn't.
yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought you said you literally
No.
said he was a striker. I was saying he was a winger. That's all. And at the end of the day, man, I would just have to disagree with you, Safa.
No one rates him. You're the only person who talks about
Okay,
Barcola.
Safa, you can just say no one rates him, but I'm telling you I rate him and I would like him as my team. You can say you don't want
to. You then are dropping the stand. You are then dropping the playing standard at Chelsea by hiring this dude.
No, I'm not. Because if
he would not improve this side whatsoever.
He would.
He wouldn't.
All right, then that's for the.
Ah, man, I don't know, man. These
He's
scouting
Mudryk-
reports
he's
are looking
Mudryk level.
stinky.
We can
He's
agree
Mudryk
to
level.
All right,
He's Mudryk level.
that's what you want to believe, bro.
Mudryk, Brennan Johnson level. Mudryk would rip out him in the French league as well. That's how bad it is.
But Surfer, let me ask you something. In terms of Nkunku, ready to go, ready to leave, giving up on Nkunku?
If he's not playing, he's not giving a run. He should leave. You know what I mean? No, he's not impressing.
But do you think he needs a run, or from what you see, do you think he's not good enough?
The manager needs to stop telling us he's not a 9 and playing him at 9. The same with
that's another thing.
Same with Disassi. I don't.
So you also think it's a positioning issue, not the player's
The
abilities?
manager told us it's a positioning issue, but then he puts him in a position that's not his position. That's what we're talking about here. Like the people who criticise Disassi. Disassi's not a right back. Centre back. You know what I mean? It's done. Talk about the manager. We had this same level of energy we gave to Poch last year for playing people out of position. And this isn't a get out, Maresca out speech or anything like that. But when the manager told the press and effectively us that Nkunku is not a number 9, and then for the next 3 games after that, he subbed him on or started him as a number 9, then that is down to the manager. That is down to the manager. He had an option, and what further complicates it is that he put Mark Guéhi on the bench as well. It's not as if he didn't put Mark Guéhi on the bench. You know what I mean? That he could have played. Why not play him? He's a number 9. I think he's going to leave anyway, whether it's this month or in the summer. I think he's going to leave anyway. Because
go ahead, Andrew. Finish up what you're saying.
I heard someone say that Felix is the preferred number 10, but Felix hardly gets any minutes either. Do you know what I mean? So we don't. There's all that stories this week or last week that Maresca didn't really want Felix. So what's the feeling that both of them might leave? You know, but that's down to the manager to play players in their right position. We had the same energy that we gave to Poch when he was responsible for playing people in the same position or regular position. You have to give the same energy back. It's only right to do so. You know.
When you put it that way,
that's the sport. You are a person who is either a troll who doesn't actively listen. I was listening to what someone was saying before, and they just said that Felix is the preferred number 10 choice of Palmer, but Felix doesn't get any minutes. So if Felix isn't going to play or isn't going to stay or wants more minutes, then he has to go as well as Nkunku. So you know,
there's a little bit of argument for Maresca in the sense, like, I mean, he just started and he has performed well so far. And that does not mean like he should stop experimenting. It's still early days. And Gusto played bad, so give him for that. Okay, then he's trying Disassi. Maybe he should have started that young guy. But he is experimenting, and not all experiments will work. So
there's no experiment. There's no, like you just said, there's no experiment in the world where Disassi plays right back when you've got Gusto and Achimpong available. If that's, I don't, you want to, when you experiment and do that, the Morecambe FA Cup tie. That's where you experiment.
Yeah, but Andrew, for last 8 months or 6 months, Disassi has only played at right back.
Right, but what I'm saying is, some of that was due to like injuries, and I understand that. But the Ipswich wasn't an injury issue. You had Gusto, okay, he's not playing well, and you had Achimpong. I'm not going to count James because he's only just come back, so that's unfair to do so. So you actually had 2 options to actually play there, and especially when Disassi's not going to get support, even underlapping that much. So whoever the right winger is, as Matter recognises Ipswich, was just an island to himself. The same against Everton. You know what I mean? Because we played
Yeah,
Gusto inverted. So
no, I get that totally because I think he also saw that Disasi error and like he's not fit for, and he did change him eventually.
yeah, but he changed
But
him
at
very
the
late.
moment, yes, but like
sorry.
the priority at that time was not to concede more, but the priority at that time was to score more. So he first went for the other changes first. So I give him for that.
No, that's understandable. Again, he didn't use his full complement of 5 subs. He only used 4, which is obviously a higher total, unlike the previous games.
Yeah.
But my thing was not to start Disasi at all. Disasi is not a
Yeah,
right back.
that's totally agreed. Yeah.
If you've got the options, especially if you haven't got the options, and Fofana's not fit, then fine. But when you've got the options, and you've got 2 right backs on the bench, not even change it at half time. Even if you start with him, change it at half time. They're only 1-0 down. Change it at half time. Get to the rhythm of the game. Give support to Madueke on the right, or whoever's on the right. Have another option there, and let's go from half time. But he didn't even do that. Achimpong's just signing a new contract. Give him some minutes. You know what I mean? It's just that's something. And this isn't. Of course, we all understood this. It's a learning curve, right? Unfortunately, it's come at a time where the learning curves are costing us points. That's
there
the
was
issue.
slight difference, but tell me, like, if I'm wrong, like Andrew, there was a slight difference. We didn't see Disasi bombing really forward a lot of times. He
Right.
was part of a back three. So
Yeah.
if you have to have a back three centre backs, then you can understand. Okay, put the Disasi, he's not going to invert. He will be as a centre back, but little bit on a back three, and mostly Kukureya will be up front. So in that case, you can say, okay, technically, maybe on paper as a starting 11, he was right back, but in the game itself, he was part of the back three, the
Yeah,
three centre backs.
That's understandable. That's understandable. I just think though, I just don't think Disasi. I think we've now 18 months into a Disasi career at Chelsea, and I think we all know what the player he is. He's just not cut out for it. You can play you can even play Achimpong as part of a back three if you want. It's got the pace for it. Well, if you're going to play Disasi, why do you play him on the right? Why don't you just put him in the middle and put Tosin on the right? Something like that.
I'll be real. I don't think he works in a central system either.
Yeah.
I think Danish tweeted about this earlier, or said this in Lewis' chat earlier. And I saw someone else tweet this as well. Disasi would work if you're 3-0 up or 2-0 up in a game and the other team is pressing you, and you literally just need someone on the pitch who's going to win balls in the box, and it's just going to be a box defender. He doesn't work in a team that wants to be progressive and expansive and has to sit on the halfway line because he hasn't got the recovery pace. He turns like a truck, like an 18-wheeler. Like for a West Ham or an Everton, he'd be brilliant. For a team that's going to sit deep and just needs to defend in the box, win balls in the air, brilliant. He doesn't work for this.
That's sarcasm. He's a box defender. That's sarcasm.
No, he said that earlier, and I agree with him. Like he's
a box defender. Yeah.
Scott, Andrew, then one more question, also relating somehow to this. We see how Maresca's system works is mostly numbers game. Like he's overloading adding a player in the midfield, then in the front four, all the four are attacking. So he's trying to create a width with the wingers, and vertically he's trying to stretch the teams when we have the ball, but we bring back the ball and try to attract pressure. So we are vertically stretching the teams as well, not only horizontally. So in that sense, that's our system that works. When we are without the ball and we are trying to get the ball back as soon as possible, if there is not enough press, not good press, then our high line will get exposed a lot of times.
Yeah, well,
and this is what was happening last game as well. I think because our forward line was completely new, the press was not very harmonic, and that was creating a little bit of more tension and pressure for our back three. So there is a clear error, of course. I mean, totally agree. That was a schoolboy error. But still, I mean, they were under pressure not because of stretching the team, but because the forward line was not pressing properly.
Here's the problem that we're starting to learn from it, unfortunately, right now, is that we left ourselves very small options when it comes to midfield in terms of quality and number. And when you're seeing the absence of the Lavia, Lavi was playing, you'd probably put even Caicedo as an inverted right back, so you can release Enzo up a bit more in the pitch, which he had been finding success in. The problem is now we're seeing Enzo and the Caicedo partnership is falling back into a routine of Poch for the last few games because they're overrun. Because Enzo's not that type of an athlete, even though he covers a lot of ground. And when he's asked to do several other things of a midfield pivot, you can see the weaknesses in it. And
he's still
even the
last few games, I would have just tried it because he seems to try anything else. You have to ask him. People need to ask him why might you just try Vega in the middle a little bit, even with Caicedo inverted, and see what happens, and just have them two link and release Enzo a bit more. That's what I would do. If you're not going to play Gusto or Achimpong at right back, but certainly not the Sassy. The Sassy cannot play right back. Okay, the only team he's good at, which we've seen him good at, and even then it's probably a little bit questionable, was Southampton, the 5-1. Do you know what I mean? And even then, some might say he got a bit turned on that game, but we cannot play him at right back. And right back is a no, especially with the options of it. It's a no at right back. And it should be called upon it, Maresca. We should be asked about that. I'm surprised no one asked. Well, I'm not surprised. They don't ask me a question. But if you were there, you'd ask. If anyone was there, you'd ask him, why are you playing Disassi when you've got. I know Gusto's not been playing well. Okay. You've got Achimpong there. Okay. You know, I don't, even at half time, change him. Why were those options not done? Do you know what I mean? Someone needs to ask him that. And it's only fair to have the same energy. Even though Poch was far more experienced coach and stuff like that, is to ask him that. We're not saying Maresca out or he doesn't know what he's doing, or we're just questioning it. Why did you do that, or why did you change it?
Out.
Disassi is not fast. Who said this? Benjamin, bro. Come on, man. We can't do this, bro. This guy is not fast. He's not fast, bro. He's not fast,
He moves, bro. He moves like he's in custard.
No, here's the thing. This Benjamin guy, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go after you. When we were having Colomwani talks, because when we were having Colomwani talks, this guy was saying, Colomwani is like Suarez. So I'm not taking any of what you say
Dennis
after
Suarez.
that. He said that.
Dennis
You can check
Suarez.
Dennis Suarez. He said he's like Luis Suarez. He put scroll up in this chat. That's when I saw that shit. I couldn't believe I wasn't gonna take it. Look at this.
Wait, he said it in this chat?
Yes, chat. This stream. During Colomwani talk today, right now, during the stream, he said he's Suarez on the ball.
I just ignored it, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. So if this man's saying Disasi's fast, I'm not taking what he says to account at all. I'm not believing the shit he says, because he says Colomwani is like Suarez on the ball. Not like Suarez in any way.
Don't you think though that CP that I think you're a much smarter and intelligent person, and this isn't me changing with 2025 because I think you're a prick still. But it's just I would don't you and he won't take offense by that, CP. Don't you think that when someone says that, CP, and
he's Emperor Palpatine, man. I'm Anakin Skywalker, man. I'm trying my best.
I know. Well, why don't you just block him out? Because when someone says on the ball he's Suarez as a defender, I have no idea what that means. I don't know him as a defender. I don't know how we use.
No, I know. So when he was saying that Disasi was fast, I'm like, I'm not taking what you say into account. I just want to call it out.
And then he's put in the chat on the ball he's Suarez, and I don't know what that means to a central defender. I have no idea what that means. What?
I watched. I'll be honest. I don't really remember Suarez too much when he was at Liverpool. I'm watching him now at 37 in the MLS, and I understand it's MLS. Kyler Moani is nowhere near as good as Suarez on the ball. At 37, Suarez is better than Colin Moani is on the ball.
Yeah, I can't really speak for Colo, but I got a question to ask you guys. I thought about this.
By the way, I would not have Colin Moani anywhere near this club.
Even as a loan option?
No.
I've seen enough. He is struggling and Barcola's got the numbers, no problem.
Oh, Jesus
Christ. For me, is struggling, bro. You know what I mean?
I found it. Off the ball like Kaka, on the ball.
Time to go out for 5 minutes, please. Time to go out. You mean, on the ball, he is Kaka. You're right, he's shit. Right? He's shit, you're right.
What I wanted to ask is, in terms of, because you already know, the fan base being as overreactionary as they always are, you have people already saying, Enzo Maresca out and all this stuff. Do you guys reckon, because and I bring this up because he's on a 5-year deal. I'm convinced that his job is safe, but Graham Potter was also on a 5-year deal, and he eventually got the sack. Do you guys reckon that at this point of the season, based on where we are on the table, how the results have come, do you think that if Maresca were to go on a bit of a downfall, do you reckon he's still safe for next season in terms of like a sacking?
Yeah.
Look how, let's say, Poch was, man. I mean, let's be realistic, bro. He might. I mean, that should show you.
But Poch was up and down, you know.
No, I was going to say. I think that's the thing with Poch is like, Poch. Ultimately, it wasn't just the fact it was up and down. It's the fact it was mostly down, and that final 5 games or whatever it was didn't cloud their judgment.
Yeah.
Like they saw that and was like, oh, it doesn't matter. He's still gone because everything else happened this season. I think for Maresca to leave. For Maresca to be sacked, he'd have to lose every game between like now and the end of the season. Like he'd have to go on the worst run I think we've ever seen from a Chelsea manager.
Who is Ange? You know, like how Ange went on that really bad run after like his first night. After he's like those games that he wanted to leave. Like if he did something like that with us, I could actually see them be like, yeah, man, love. You know what I mean? I
fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I think his job is secure, as far as I'm aware. Like, even if we don't get top 4, I don't see him getting sacked.
No,
5
years.
years.
You know what the issue is? Yeah, I think this idea, if you don't get top 4, you're not gonna get sacked. I'm not too sure about that. You know, I think the context they probably would have given him. It's the context. I think it depends on the context of getting top 4, in my personal opinion, more than if you don't get top 4, you're safe. Does that make sense, Marshall?
Yeah, and I think it's like in terms of style of play as well. It's like building on that. Like we've seen enough from Maresca in terms of his style of play, the team as a whole, what we're building towards. Where like there's something to get behind, right? With Poch, there was nothing. Like there wasn't a style of play. There wasn't there wasn't anything about him. There wasn't a defensive record. There wasn't really a goal scoring record. There was nothing. There was nothing to get behind. Like it was Cole Palmer and maybe Jackson sometimes, and nothing else.
Fair enough. Anyone else want to chip in on that before we call it?
Contract left shouldn't matter. Depends on the compensation package.
I think there might be like an exit clause in there or some shit like that.
I mean, they could be.
They love their clauses.
I would say it would be smart considering.
After part,
they love their holes.
After part, you would think, okay, that was crazy, Marshall. That was crazy, Marshall. But like,
I didn't specify what kind of holes. Doesn't mean
what I would say is that I feel like after Potter, they've clearly like kind of wised up to like the context they give these managers at the very least.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, man, we should. You know what? Yeah, we should ask this question to Surfer. Let's test his ball knowledge here. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Why not? Why not? But listen, on a serious note, do you think could you see Evan Ferguson coming out on loan here? Like, obviously, I think Koulibaly, I doubt, but Evan Ferguson,
no.
I could see them going for Evan Ferguson only because he's a different striker type. I genuinely could see that happening.
No.
If it was only loan though, no, that's it.
No, just no.
He's injury prone and overhyped at the moment.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
No, I don't want him at the club, but I could see. But I know he's like something that the club would probably see if he wanted to, right? But I don't.
To be honest, though, I say no. But at the end of the day, too, like I feel like with the recruitment, I have been wrong about a few signings, and they've turned out to be okay. I mean, the recruitment and the signings have been a plus than they have been a negative. Obviously now in hindsight we're looking at stuff like Disasi, Badiashile, and like Mudryk and so on and so forth, and there's some duds, but for the most part there's been some good players in there. So at the end of the day, even though I say no to Ferguson, even though I say no to Moani on a permanent, so on and so forth, maybe there's something they see that I don't see, and I should just shut my mouth, because at the end of the day I'm not a scout. I'm not watching these players off and on the pitch. I'm not scouting them, so the fuck do I know? I just have an opinion.
Yeah, one thing I would add, I would like to
casual. There you go.
Yeah, like Paris Saint-Germain, they are playing under Luis Enrique, and he's very much like system player. The individual freedom of playing, and the players, they don't have it. It's all system about system, just like Pep Guardiola does. So everything is system, and that's why probably.
I also don't want to do
give
it Brighton
some marks.
anymore, to be honest. But yeah. Sorry, I just thought of Ferguson again. Go ahead, JC.
So if you look at Germany, well, Moani, how he played in Germany, then you can make some decision. But I have not seen that game. His games in
We're going for a strike from
only
Brighton.
see
Give me João Pedro.
I only saw a cup
He's
final.
gonna cost like 100 mil.
I saw a cup final where it was like Moani's team against Nkunku's team, and that was only one game. And I think Nkunku looked much better in that. I mean, he also scored the winning goal, I think, in that.
Mm-hmm. But go ahead, JC.
Yeah, but I think like in this kind of players like they inhibit the system managers. They little bit inhibit players like players do not have so much of freedom to operate. Like,
It's individual. The players do the individual brilliance. That's what it is, man. For the system. That's what it is.
That being said, ladies and gents, I got to wrap it up because I have to head out. We are going to raid out to, I believe I just set it up to Sarcasm City. Let me just double check again. But regardless, we are going to raid out. So copy and paste over the raid message that is about to pop up in the chat, just so people know where you are coming from. We'll be back again on Saturday to talk about the result of the match against Crystal Palace. Big up to everyone who joined in on the call-in show today. Yeah, we are rating Sarcasm City. So yeah, let Flawless know where you're coming from. We'll be reviewing the Crystal Palace show on Saturday. We will have a Casually Chelsea show on Sunday as well to talk about a lot of the news that's happened. And yeah, we'll be back here. We'll be in this space. You guys know where to find us. 2025, a lot of content coming up, and I'm going to try to be a little bit more consistent with a few other pieces of content on the channel as well for you guys to enjoy. So there'll be a multifaceted channel in terms of how you guys want to consume entertainment here. But anyways, copy and paste the raid message. Smash the like button if you haven't done so already. Be sure to subscribe if you're new here. If you are already a subscriber, check out the memberships because we have 4 different tiers starting at 99p. And at the proper casual tier and higher, we give shout outs at the end of every show. And those shout outs are going to go out to TM127, EE, Hassan Nawaz, Dark, Adrian, A. Suleiman, and Scott. Big up to Danish Maldini for resubscribing as well today. I saw that earlier. I forgot to shout him out. So big up to you as well, Danish, for the support. As the match going casual there. So big up to him for, subscribing at that tier level. So that's also a shout out. But yeah, guys, be sure, if you haven't done so already, show some love to the links in the description as well. I am on Javon's channel, the Final Whistle Podcast. We have a show there, so I'm trying to promote that a little bit as well. So show some love to Javon and his channel down below. Raid message, copy and paste. We'll be back Saturday, like I said. Imagine I just repeat the whole outro one more time. But yeah, big up to everyone. Saturday after reaction to Crystal Palace match, and then Sunday we're here for the Casual Chelsea show. If you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to no, I'm not doing this again. Chalaba watch.
Chalaba can't play against us.
Gay watch on Sunday.
Bro, what do people see in La Croix, man? I've seen a lot of La Croix hype.
I can't wait. That downfall is going to be unreal.
I don't see it, bro. This guy's been a Wolfpack for how many years, bro? And like, people are hyping this guy. I'm like, nah, man.
We were linked with him at one point. We were linked with him.
Man. You know the guy that used to be really famous by his face on FIFA. He's famous.
Is it Wolfsburg or Werder Bremen?
Yeah, Wolfsburg, I think.
He's a FIFA guy. He's a FIFA guy.
Yeah.
You know that. He's a FIFA
guy. Yeah.
But like recently, I've been seeing like it's been like kind of this trend on Twitter. Oh, he's so good. Look at him, and I'm like, bro, give it up, man. Give it up, bro.
Give it up. Just like we're gonna. Hey, big up Alexis. Surprise for you guys soon, but big up Alexis in the chat. Yeah, raid out message. Y'all have a wonderful night as always. Stay casual and peace.